Hello.
Can anyone hear us? I'm assuming you can you?
I'm assuming so.
That's the length it'll go.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just have to squeeze in like this.
Middle valve in it. Do you want to see here?
No.
Is that short?
No.
No? Okay.
Anyone there to hear us now?
Yeah, that's for YouTube now.
Want me to just do it on the phone? Because there's like 10 seconds left.
Oh, yeah, do you want to look? I'm going to share the stream out and stuff.
Yeah. No, it's on now. Just share. Yeah, we're live now. We are live.
That's going through the TV.
Shouldn't be.
There you go.
Oh.
Danny. Can you hear it now?
No. Go play.
Oh.
Jerry?
Oh my god, I literally had this done. What the fuck happened?
No, of course.
Oh yeah, we're live already.
Yeah. Potty mouth. Yeah, the mic's perfect anyway. Well, that answers that question.
Yeah, we just can't hear him.
Potty mouth.
We need to fix that. Go and say.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And then see if we can.
Hey, David.
See if we can get these working.
You screen on here.
Mute the screen for a minute. Mute.
This?
All right, thank you.
No, mute the case.
All right.
This?
No,
Next
just mute the
question.
case.
Okay.
Sorry, we have to get our headphones back working, so just bear with us 1 minute. Can you fix that?
Yeah.
Actually, no, just mute us what we're doing. That'd be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mute.
To take MDMA with Mr. Depp on a plane to Russia in June.
Everything was fine.
Weren't around each other that evening. We had kind of separate parties, a bridal party and a groom's party.
And your wedding was a month before Australia, correct?
That is correct.
And you arranged to have drugs at your wedding, correct?
Like I said, we had
Your Honor, if we could please have Ms. Heard's email published to the jury.
All right, 1262 in evidence.
This is a schedule for your wedding weekend, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it's not. It's a proposed draft of a schedule. It ended up being quite different.
Do you see where it says 7 p.m. rehearsal dinner?
Yes, I see that.
And the next item on the list says, quote, after dance party and drugs and music, end quote, right?
That is correct.
So you plan to have drugs at your wedding to someone you characterize as a drug
Kaza?
addict?
To be fair,
Sorry
we
about
were to
that.
have parties, as I mentioned. So a bridal party before this, the schedule ended up changing quite a bit. And this is a draft clearly that was sent before
Can you hear us?
there were a lot of changes made.
Can you hear us
The
now?
bridal
So
party
your original
and the
idea,
groom's
Ms.
party were
Heard,
separate.
Ms. Heard, your original idea was to have a rehearsal dinner with your husband, the drug addict, the monster, and then do drugs with your girlfriends on the island after your rehearsal dinner?
I realize that's what the email suggests, but that wasn't
No,
a
it's
plan.
not what it suggests, Ms. Heard. It's what you said in that email.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is that the schedule ended up changing. We ended up doing the little,
So your
as I
original
called
idea
it,
was
cuddle
to do
puddle
drugs.
before.
Yeah, your original idea was to do drugs on an island after your rehearsal dinner to the drug-fueled monster that you were about to marry, right?
The as the email suggests, there was going to be weed on the island. This does not reference the cuddle puddle that I just referenced to you.
You like to do drugs on special occasions, right, Ms. Heard?
I have before.
And you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
That is correct. That was a huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April 21st, 2016.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday, correct.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
And you asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine was right by the elevators. And I also told him he could bring in a joint. I wouldn't
Film?
bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit
Give me a
1263.
partner. I just need to know where I'm sitting.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask to show, first of all, this one hasn't been produced. This has not, it's a brand new trial exhibit, so I don't have it. I'd like an unredacted copy, and then I'd like an unredacted copy to be shown to the witness.
All right, do you have an unredacted copy?
We can make one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach about
All
this?
Oh, what's going on?
What's going on? It's getting saucy now. I love Camille in this. She just. Hey, do you want to switch? Because I'm on
Yeah.
your headphones there. Just wanted to go on. We're about to be on trial here. If we keep going that way.
Sorry, there's still not vacuum.
Oh, crap.
You have more space there, have you? Or you move over?
That done nothing.
Move on.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
You film it back in? No.
Oh, where'd they go? Love from India. Sending love back. Just waiting on these to come back now.
They're talking from the bench.
Can you hear them?
No, they have to have it
Muted.
muted when they're talking, because when they go up and talk to the judge,
Yeah.
when it's just the solicitors talking from, if it's just the solicitors talking up to the judge at the stand, it's muted, because no one's supposed to, the jury aren't supposed to hear what they're talking about.
All right.
So it's going to be muted for a few minutes. They said they're bringing something else into the trial.
Yeah.
So they want to get stuff redacted. So that's obviously just what they're talking about now for a few minutes. Is anybody keeping up with the case?
Sending love back. Hello, everyone that just joined. You're very welcome. Anyone keeping up with the case? What's everyone thinking so far? What's your thoughts? Let us know. Big shout out to David. Thanks for letting us know about the audio. We do appreciate that. Sorry it was a bit rifty at the start. We literally just got home after going to the old shops. So sorry about that. Love
Luxembourg.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
So if you're just joining us, make sure you give us a like, share us out, all that good YouTube stuff, and keep with us. We're just waiting for them to come back.
Yeah, while we're waiting here, I'm just going to share this around, because we're just waiting for them to get back from the bench.
Yeah, if you have any social media shares out.
So yeah, what's everyone thinking about the case so far? Oh, you're not following it? Okay. Oh, we're back.
How about this layout stuff?
Try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to show the unredacted messages to counsel for Ms. Heard on a laptop, because I don't have a hard copy.
Okay.
Yeah, could we, let's just pause for a minute. I don't want to say.
What's that?
They're pausing it again.
Yeah, they paused again there. We'll jump back up. We'll switch the layout.
It's only the last four.
Yeah. It's still pausing. What are you doing? Going through the evidence, is it?
So when they have to get bring more stuff into evidence, so like the jury can see it if it needs to be redacted, or if they need to talk to the judge about it, the jury's not allowed to hear. So they have to go up to the judge, and then they cut all the mics off. So they're back up at the judge now. So
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, here we go.
he's going to jail.
That's a good question, David.
So Ms. Heard, I'm only going to,
Your Honor, I'm going to object to asking questions while I'm looking at this.
All right, if you could give her a moment, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
She missed.
All right, a lion.
Oh, like that, what is going on, yeah?
He's going to jail. I don't think anyone's going to jail, but it's a defamation case. I think he's innocent. I think Johnny Depp is innocent, but that's my opinion. She's having her Amber Heard is getting cross-examined now, so we'll see. We'll see what the jury think in the next few days. I'm sure. We're sharing this around.
They're whispering to each other, yeah?
Thanks. I'm lying on a mad one again.
Go on a line, your mad thing.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
okay.
So it's any objection to 1263 as redacted?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1263 in evidence.
So-
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Heard, directing your attention to the Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263. This is a text message that you sent to Mr. Depp, correct?
That is correct.
And you sent this message to Mr. Depp the day you had your 30th birthday dinner, right?
That is correct.
And you write, quote, "Hey baby, bring up something to drink and or a joint. I'm in if you are. See you in a minute. Question mark. XX." Did I read that right?
That
I
is
don't
correct.
do drugs.
Yeah.
And then the next day you went to Coachella and consumed MDMA and mushrooms, right, Ms. Heard?
I
Which
did.
says she doesn't
Johnny
do
was
that.
not there for that.
Let's talk a little bit more about your 30th birthday. You testified about this incident multiple times, haven't you?
That is correct.
But yesterday you told this jury that you were not called upon to provide a detailed accounting of all physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp until February 2020. Is that correct?
I testified that I had not been able to do so until February 2020 outside of the context of a cold deposition.
Actually, I misspoke. February 2022, this year.
Right. Sorry. I did the same thing you did.
Really?
And you did that in something called an interrogatory. Is that correct?
The interrogatory response was the first time that I could do that outside of the context of being asked certain questions in the deposition.
And you testified about your 30th birthday in this interrogatory, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Nonetheless, you testified to a new detail about your 30th birthday for the first time in this courtroom, didn't you?
A new detail.
No,
There
that's
always no
incorrect.
A
details.
sexual assault, no less.
I had just not placed when that happened. I was never sure if that was the same
What's that mean?
time that he did that on the night of my birthday. And I maintained that as well in my deposition.
Did you, yeah?
You told this jury that the evening of your 30th birthday dinner, Mr. Depp, quote, grabbed you by the pubic area, end quote, pushed you down, right?
That is correct.
This detail isn't in your interrogatory response, is it, Ms. Heard?
That detail is in my interrogatory response. Yes.
Let's pull up your interrogatory response.
What's that mean?
If we could please bring up,
Someone use words I don't know. We're all learning together.
Yeah.
Ms. Bredehoff. Thank you. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You can hear the buzzing off them mics in the courtroom.
I know.
I thought that was ours for a minute.
No, it's that. That's probably ours as well. But
Ah, well, David says it's perfect. I'm going with what David said.
If we can go to your interrogatory responses at page 57. These are signed under the penalty of perjury, correct?
That is correct.
And you testified again to this jury that this was the first time you were given an opportunity to write down everything and include all your evidence, right?
That is correct.
So let's go to page 57.
Can't wait to see what Camille's going to bash you here.
page 57.
Oh, do you know what? I set myself up for that. You proud of that? Aquaman.
Aquaman.
My dog stepped on a bee.
At the top of page 57, Johnny and I were not in a good place. I begged him to make my birthday dinner. Do you see that?
That is correct.
Okay, so starting on page 57, you start describing your birthday dinner, correct?
That is correct.
All right.
That coffin, though.
On page 59 of your interrogatory response, you write, fourth paragraph down, Johnny grabbed me while holding me down, and I remember him asking me if I thought I was so tough. He asked me 3-4 times up close to my face, "You're so tough. Are you such a tough guy, huh? You think you're so tough. What are you going to do now?" I stood up at some point after getting off the ground. Do you see that?
That is correct.
And then you write after, I remember crying. I remember feeling exhausted and frustrated. And it hit me, meaning the realization of how sad it was that I was going to wake up tomorrow on my birthday without him.
That's correct.
Where in this interrogatory response, Ms. Heard, you describe Mr. Depp quote, grabbing you by the pubic bone, pubic area, and pushing you down.
On page 64.
64.
Why should you keep looking at the jury like that?
Where?
Page 64, 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down. Johnny grabbed me once, did this taunting thing on the side of the bed in penthouse 3. He grabbed my vagina and held me there. Asked me if I was so tough.
You're not describing what happened after your 30th birthday?
I am. I just had not prescribed it to that date with the limited evidence I had at the time. Only in the course of looking at the evidence, preparing for this case, have I put those two pieces together. But I've always said what happened.
Wow. Pretty nonchalant there, wasn't it? If someone grabbed me like that, I'd be able to.
Well, she's the
You
one
were
that was
upset that
upset.
Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
You knew Mr. Depp had a scheduled business meeting or a money meeting that evening, right?
No, I knew he said he did. I didn't know if he had one. Addicts lie all the time.
So you
What?
didn't trust him?
I took it with a big grain of addict salt.
And Mr. Depp texted you that evening to let you know he'd be late, correct?
Yes, he did text me at some point.
It was a big deal to you that Mr. Depp
Oh
was
my
late to your
God.
birthday dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did matter to me.
And you were upset he was late.
I was hurt.
And when he finally did arrive, you felt, quote, invisible to him, right?
I did.
The day after your birthday dinner, you and your friends went to Coachella to celebrate your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You made a video driving to Coachella with your friends, didn't you?
That is correct.
I'd like to pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1264. And for the record, Your Honor, this only has music without any words on it.
And again, it's a new one, so I'd like a copy of it.
Oh,
It's
here
going
she
to
goes
be
again.
played.
Getting out the tissue again. Here we go.
No, I meant Elaine. I don't have this. She doesn't have anything.
There is no sound
She
other
even
than a
represents-
song.
Yes, sure.
Like, what's going on here? Like,
Why does Elaine have nothing? Ever.
like every time the evidence is like, yeah, I actually don't have that. I was like, have you been here? Aquaman.
But I mean, she's calling him an addict, but she's also admitting she's an addict herself. I don't understand the logic. Do you?
No. The hypocrisy is.
Yeah. Astounding.
Mm-hmm. Just a quick disclaimer: this is only opinions. We're not legally trained or anything like that. Oh, Grant. Yeah, it's in the pop-out shop. Yeah, it's in the.
Got to pin it. Wow.
Aquaman.
Any objection?
Yes.
No, You're on.
All right,
Okay. If we could
1264.
please publish this to the jury
That was brilliant. She
with
said that
a sound.
Oh, Stone Cold.
But they have to do that when they're putting new evidence on.
Oh, did it? Yeah! Oh! Oh! Oh, yeah. I was on,
quick.
I was on
This is a
VLC
video you
for-
made when you drove to Coachella with your friends for your 30th birthday, right?
That's correct. I'm not quite sure which one of us made the video, but that's correct.
Rolling
You're featured in
Stones,
that video driving.
That's correct.
And it's set to the song Miss You by the Rolling Stones. Is that right?
Chill.
That's correct.
That was a message for Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
Oh, look,
No,
look at
that's
that.
ridiculous.
Are you seeing
You
this?
consumed drugs at Coachella, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You took MDMA and mushrooms at the same time,
I did. Yes.
and it made you feel sick,
Well, he's
right?
not-
I felt horrible. Yes.
sounds like
So
he
you left
would say-
Coachella.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified yesterday that when you left Coachella, you left with, quote, your entire group.
That is correct.
And you were, quote, never alone with Starling, right?
That is correct.
You weren't anywhere near him.
Not alone. No.
You sat here when Starling Jenkins testified that he collected you from Coachella when you were sick, right?
He picked up my entire group.
And Mr. Jenkins testified, quote, I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the Parker, which I assume was in reference to the hotel, alone. I took her to 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil, and let her have those. Got her back up to the Parker, got her in the suite, and then went back to pick up everyone else. You were there when Mr. Jenkins testified, right?
Yes, he was wrong.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Jenkins is lying.
He's just wrong. I don't know what his intentions are. He was just wrong about that. We were a big group of us. I wasn't alone with him.
What?
Is it possible that you don't remember correctly because you were sick from taking MDMA and mushrooms at the
No.
same time?
Yeah, I remember everything about that night.
How?
I'd like to play for you Plaintiff's Exhibit 1229, which is already in evidence, at 1720 through 2128.
Aquaman. Don't tell me what evidence is like, man.
Someone needs a cough bottle.
That we should. Question.
Doesn't mean we can't see each other.
Okay.
I mean,
So then why did you
if
say
you don't,
stop the
if
proceeding?
you don't surrender,
No, yeah. Let people see you.
the temporary restraining order.
You're right. You wanted to work.
Nobody's telling me.
Okay. No, you told me.
We're on the road.
You told me what you wanted. You wanted to work. So that's what I came to figure
You're
out.
not going to call your lawyers and say, stop the process. I don't want to do this. You're not going to do that.
You not if, especially if you don't. If you,
Okay, I don't want to divorce.
you don't? Which one? Growing up, which one?
I don't want a divorce. I never wanted a fucking divorce. I
Really?
never wanted a divorce. I didn't want you to fucking go to Coachella without fucking talking to me. Because I left you because you were fucking, you fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking started punching on me.
Jesus.
Why? I love you.
That's what really happened the evening of your 30th birthday, isn't it, Miss Heard?
No,
Miss-
that's incorrect.
Mr. Depp was in bed, and then you came around the bed and started punching him.
That's incorrect.
You don't deny that in the recording, do you, Miss Heard?
I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I'm not denying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I was trying to get out of that hotel room. That was a mediation attempt. That was the recording you just heard. It was us meeting in a hotel.
But you're talking about your 30th birthday.
No, we're not.
You're not talking about going to Coachella and
Johnny's talking about that. I am not arguing with him about any of that.
right. You don't deny anything, do you?
I'm not talking to him about that.
Well, she didn't deny it.
Going
No,
to
I didn't hear denial there.
publish exhibit or ask
Only
that the
opinions.
witness be shown exhibit 1265.
That's a new one.
One line, you mad thing.
I'm surprised our team didn't object to any new evidence. They love a good objection and a
This
hearsay.
is you and your friends at Coachella, correct?
That is correct.
Trying to move to admit plaintiff's 1265 and publish it.
No objection. All right, 1265 in evidence, can
No,
publish
she had
it.
no objection, sorry.
Oh,
There's no injuries to you, are there, Miss Heard, visible in this picture?
You cannot see any visible injury, no.
Thank you, Tom. Ms. Heard, you remember during Mr. Depp's examination, a number of recordings were played, correct?
That's correct.
And in one of those recordings, you told Mr. Depp, quote, "I hope to God Jack's stepfather teaches him more about being a man than your fucking left nut," end quote. Do you remember that?
I do not remember what exactly I could hear of that recording. I remember I heard myself make a mention of Jack's new stepfather or potential stepfather. I can't recall.
Jack is Mr. Depp's son, right?
That is correct. And I believe I was referencing a marriage that his ex-partner was going to have or getting into, I suppose.
You were referencing that Jack's new stepfather would teach him how to be a man because Mr. Depp couldn't.
I
Right.
don't recall exactly what I said, but it was something to that effect.
Let's listen to some of what happened before you said that to Mr. Depp. If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 397, which is already in evidence. And for the record, it's at 3504 through 3547. And then the next clip is 3635 through 4308.
She's something else.
I'm not even saying that. That's disgusting.
Fucking suck your own dick.
Everything's fine until it doesn't go your way. And when it doesn't go your way,
Your own
I'm in trouble. And you know what?
suck.
I don't need you. I don't want your kind of woman. I don't want your kind of woman.
Suck my
I
dick.
don't want your kind of
Suck
woman.
my dick.
I
Hey, guess what?
might have. Suck my dick with you.
Big mistake. I wish I had fucking had.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I fucking hadn't bought into any of your fucking lies, your bullshit, your sober fucking presence, your fucking goodness, your sweetness, all the lies. I wish I hadn't bought into the months of you being you. I wish I hadn't bought into the promises. I wish I hadn't fucking thought I could have kids with you. You're a fucking kid yourself. I wish I hadn't bought into any of the lies you sold. Talk about fake bill of goods. You're the biggest you're the biggest fucking seller of fake fucking bill of goods. Talk about presenting yourself as
I
something
did
you're
myself
not.
the fake.
Suck my dick.
Good.
Suck my
I
dick.
fucking you left nothing and I left
Suck my
everything. So suck your dick.
Go on.
Which is probably your next move to be what you fucking need. No, I don't want to suck your dick. I don't want nothing to do with your
Oh,
fucking
what?
needs.
I need something.
Well, go get it, man.
Because I need something. Go on. Fucking fuck yourself. No shit, I don't. Suck your dick.
I don't want to.
It's gonna be all me, yeah.
No, it's not really true, Amber.
Actually, it kind of is.
It kind of is. What are you talking about? You doing some
No,
Oh, is it? What is it?
no, I'm sure Rochelle's available.
I
Call her up. I'm sure she's available.
What's going on here?
It is.
I'm sure she is.
We'll see.
I'm sure she is.
I'll let you know.
Oh, I'm sure she is. I'm sure for her yoga blog.
That fake laugh. That fake laugh is too much to take.
No, I'm sure she's.
That fake laugh is so disgusting.
I'm sure she's great. I'm sure she's great.
I'm thinking that you can give me some
No.
of the best performances. in the
No,
world.
no, you're right. I don't. It's all about performance.
But, performances.
What's that laugh?
She auditioning for the Joker?
I don't regret.
Oh, what else?
I
What
don't.
else that you do? Oh, come on.
I don't regret.
Steve.
I
Come
don't
on.
regret.
Lay it on me. What else? What else other things do you want to add?
Can't talk to
You
you
fucking
sound
lying piece of shit.
positive.
What? Oh,
Very
no, I
good
want to know.
You
I
know,
want to know.
Get out your Ubers
I'm
out.
kind of waiting. You go get it.
Yeah, I'll be in the
Wait, is there no other place for you to run in your 15 other houses to go run? Come on, go be a real married man. Go deal with your shit the way that a man does. Go run to the next house.
We said no.
Every man does.
Yeah.
Go.
Go on.
Run away. I know it's hard to
Your
look at yourself.
fucking ridiculous
I know.
plan.
It's
Your
hard.
panic fucking
It's
plan.
hard. It's hard.
Screwing everybody else
Poor
over
thing.
to get
You're
your
right.
fucking.
I tried.
get
That's
what
what I do.
You're the most spoiled fucking brat. And you've got everybody out here almost full, but it
you're
don't
right.
last
You're
long.
right.
I've
I'm
been here a
sorry.
lot longer
You're
than
right. You gotta
That's-
figure it out.
You don't have. Figure out what you have to offer as opposed to going out and get your tits out.
You're right. That's what I do.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
London Field is excellent.
You're right. You're right.
Excellent choice.
Back to that. Well, I wonder what we else. I wonder what else we can reach for in the last 60 minutes. Oh no, it was 4 years ago. You're right. I'm sure there's other things you can.
Go laugh.
No, I'm not laughing.
Or, no, matter of fact,
I'm
laugh
not laughing. I'm not. It's
Oh.
serious. I'm sure you can find other things.
I know. And stripping. Well, there's always that. You can
You're
always
right.
go back
You can
to
write
that.
a book.
For
You can
another-
write a
for
book.
another
I know
10
you can write a book. Oh, is this gonna be good for your book? Oh, should I have you sign an NDA for your book?
You don't even.
Your book.
No,
Is this
no.
gonna be good for your book?
You won't even
Is
make
this
it.
gonna be good for your book?
I'll write what I want. I'll write
I have a
what
good
I want.
idea.
I'll write what
How
I
about
want.
some more of your journals? You don't want to sell out or anything. Let's sell you journals. Oh, wait.
Hey.
Hey, no,
Yeah,
you're not
you
what?
wanna sell out.
No, you're not
You
selling
don't want to
out.
sell out
No,
Magic Mike.
no.
You don't wanna
Yeah,
sell
'cause
out.
no one does
Oh,
21 Drug Street when they're in their 20s. No, you're right. That's not selling out. No. When you're in your 20s, you should really know what you want. Like
I don't-
selling your journals.
I know it. If you didn't know who the fuck I
You're
was.
right. Go sell your journals like a real non-sellout. 55-year-old. Or, I'm sorry,
6.
51. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point.
No.
I don't think
Really
so.
doesn't.
I don't really think so. But you're right. I mean, hey, at least I didn't do like a TV show where I was heartbroken in my 20s. God, that would be like embarrassing. If only I was with someone in their 50s that could point that out to me. Imagine mine. You're right. You play a non-sexualized object. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. You got me. You got me all figured out.
You don't even know what movies I've done.
If only I could
You
be
haven't
like,
even taken an interest.
if only I could be
You know,
like
but I had to
you. If
watch
only
your
I
fucking-
could be like you.
I had to watch your fucking direct and you trying to like
You're a joke.
spew out
You're
these
a
fucking
joke.
lines.
You're a joke. You're a joke.
Yeah, I'm the joke in the industry, Amber. I'm the joke. I'm the joke in the
I'm
industry.
sorry. I can't really hear you. I'm sorry. The reruns of all my bullshit are playing too loud for me to hear you. I'm gonna just go and pedal my way back. Sorry. I can't hear you.
Aquaman.
Oh, 21 is whatever.
That was
I don't
like,
remember anymore.
I was
No one
20.
cares. You're fucking fucking.
Washed up piece of
Oh,
shit.
what?
Washed up piece of shit.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh,
Your jealousy so tragic.
I'm sorry.
Your jealousy
Turn
so
on my
tragic.
eight.
Fucking like
I can't hear you.
thinking that I'm going on the road with a
Turn on
band.
my eight. I can't hear you.
That was something else.
That was
You told Mr. Depp to suck your dick multiple times, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You tell him to go run to his 15 other houses, right?
That's correct.
Because that's what he would do when you behave like this, isn't it?
Eventually, he would go and stay in one of the other houses.
You call him a sellout, don't you?
Eventually.
eventually.
I was expressing
We shouldn't
frustration
deny.
about his criticism of my career and how many problems that caused within the dynamic of our relationship. Yes,
So you call him a sellout and a joke?
I called him horrible, ugly things, as you can hear. And
Sellout.
We spoke to each other in a really horrible way.
Pretty sure we just heard you speak to him in a really horrible way. You called him a sellout,
I just
right, Ms.
disagree.
Heard? You called him a sellout, right, Ms. Heard?
I called him a lot of ugly things.
And a joke.
I called him a lot of ugly things.
You called him a joke on that recording. You called him a washed up piece of shit.
I think we both called each other that on that occasion.
Is she
Yes.
messing?
Mr. Depp mentions Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
No,
Yeah.
Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning. That's
Mr.
how that
Depp
works.
says, quote, your jealousy is so tragic.
I heard him say that, yes.
You were the jealous one in this relationship, weren't you, Miss Heard?
I think he was indicating I was jealous of his career.
And now you've twisted it to say it was Mr. Depp that's the jealous one.
Johnny's always been very jealous when I worked, when I did anything, friends. Yes, he's always been very jealous.
What?
Ms. Heard, I'm going to ask you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 120E.
She's not letting her man slip a lot there.
This is a series of text messages
No.
between you and Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish these text messages. Mr. Depp's messages have been redacted.
All right, any objection?
Yeah,
No, Your Honor.
exactly.
All right, 120E in evidence, you can publish.
What's this?
Starts with a text message from you to Mr. Depp on September 26, 2015, right?
That is correct.
And you write, "Monster is back. This is him." Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And then in the next message, you write, quote, "Ran away, first sign of trouble. This is not the man you promised you would be." Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Then in the next one down, you write, "Promised, swore to me you would be."
That is
Right.
correct. The non-monster.
The non-monster.
The non-monster.
Ms. Heard, you're talking about Mr. Depp running away from you at the first sign of trouble, aren't you?
No, I'm recognizing the clues at this point when
Clues.
he would run away the first sign of trouble. Often that was a clue for me to know that he was back using again and that we were about to enter the next phase of the
Someone get him
cycle.
on a cough bottle.
And you
Jesus.
describe his running away from you as the monster, right?
That wasn't what was a monster. Monster is the man who beat me up. The running away was just
It's not like the
attached
sister
to that. It was a
coughing to tell them
sign,
to
a
change their
signal to
story.
me,
It
as a
sounds like
clue,
cue.
as somebody trying to put together clues that we were entering into that phase.
In these messages, Ms. Heard, the
Exactly.
monster isn't Mr. Depp doing drugs, is it?
It was always the man who did drugs and beat me up. Yes, that's always been the monster.
That's not what you're saying in these messages.
That is exactly what I'm saying in the messages.
You don't describe Mr. Depp being violent, do you?
I do not describe
See,
that in
the
the
cough
text
is-
message. no.
See, the cough
So it's
every
a
time.
cowardly monster this time.
They have a cold
No.
set up.
And going down the page, you write a long series of text messages to Mr. Depp that don't get a response. Is that correct?
That is correct.
A
You
small
write,
one,
"Come
loud one.
Roan, face the shit and we can do
Fix
anything."
the shit.
You go on a little later to say, "Please come home. Let's apologize to each together."
Splash.
So does she want them away or
And
not?
continuing on page
Yeah, woman is
77,
like,
you
away,
write,
book away, book away. I don't
"Not
know, this
go
is a bit
to
wild.
bed mad." And then you say, "Sound okay? Sound like the priority in the long run? Come home. Don't be the monster. Be the man. Please. Please call me. Please." Continuing on page 78. You write, "I don't want the monster. I need my man. I need to talk to you. Please, Johnny. Don't force me to be something else to you. This is taking me for granted and I can never stop before this turns into something far darker." Describing yourself in that text message, right?
The exact opposite. I'm trying to interrupt him starting a new cycle where he starts using again. I'm
He's not
trying
responding to
desperately
you, Ms. Heard.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to desperately stop him.
Stop
Please
being
answer
lost.
the
Stop
phone,
what?
you say. Doesn't this
What?
mean anything to you?
There's no
And it goes
correspondence
on.
here. Like,
And I won't read all these messages, but you're saying, "Please answer," over and over again, right?
It was very important to me. I was running out of time and I was trying desperately to stop him.
He wasn't with you, Ms. Heard.
Exactly, which is how I knew it was about to get a lot worse. He would leave, use, and come back way worse, with way less reality, with more delusions. He'd be more drunk. He'd
I'm
be
going to
more
move to
under the
strike everything
influence.
after
I was trying to stop
the
that.
answer to her question.
Your Honor, she was responding.
I'll overrule the objection, that's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you. Isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster.
like
I was
Right.
trying to stop him from turning into the monster. The drugs are the key that opened the
Who
door.
was the real monster in this
What?
relationship, Ms. Heard?
Lives in Johnny, half of Johnny. It's not all of Johnny. The other half of him is wonderful and beautiful and the man I love.
I'd like you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit
Like, this is going to
120F.
seriously hurt people who are actually, in these situations.
There's another set of text messages between you and Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120F in evidence, you can publish.
Surprised he didn't object
This
to
is a
that.
set of text messages, and it's from October 2015. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
In fact, you sent all these messages to Mr. Depp on October 22nd, 2015. Isn't that right?
No.
And again, I'm not going to read them all, but you start off again by trying to get Mr. Depp's attention, right? You write, "Please come home."
I was trying to stop another bender.
You write, "Please come
What's a
home,"
bender?
right?
That is correct.
Please answer. Don't break us up. Please answer. Please. And continuing on page 97, you write, "Give me some piece of your heart. Please, no fight, I promise. Please, no fights. Please, just pick up. Please give me 2 minutes. I'm dying. Please." And continuing on page 98, you write, "Please come home. Please come home, Baba. I am so sorry." Actually, you didn't say Baba, you said baby. Apologies. And it goes on.
Why is she sorry?
Did I read those correctly?
I don't know.
That is correct. That was another time I'm trying to stop another twist off.
Twist off.
Twist off.
This is what would happen when Mr. Depp would try to take some space from you, right?
No, this is what would happen when Johnny had moved into the next phase of the cycle, decided to use,
No,
and our
Ms.
lives
Heard-
were getting a
He's
lot
not a
worse.
blatant
Ms.
liar.
Heard, I'm talking about your actions. This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would
Isn't
try
that
to.
correct? You
I
would
would try-
harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. She interrupted you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
It was imperative for my life.
Ms.
It was
Heard,
very
My
important.
question is
to me.
much more simple. You were texting him incessantly.
I would
Yes
try
or no?
everything to
Ms.
get a hold
Heard?
of him and
So
to
that's a
stop the
yes.
cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
And he's the monster for not responding to you,
That's not what made him the monster.
for
No.
needing space from you.
The monster was not the guy who needed
Jesus.
space. The
Not
monster
for
was
doing
who he
drugs.
was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Heard. Not for being violent. Just for needing space. That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect.
Let's listen to Defendants Exhibit 598C, which is already in evidence.
Please don't know.
Like,
Then let's not do this anymore, because I'm really getting frustrated. And I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop, I'm sorry.
Okay? So let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
you're being
I
so-
go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that. There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Stop rushing me! Stop pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, "Why are you saying the words you want me to say?" Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall! I'm going, "What? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall?" Stop pushing me!
Remember? I'm not pushing you. I'm rushing you. I said, I need space. I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space. Whether you like it or not, I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep halting
I'm not doing anything
this
to you.
and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric,
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop.
I'm just
I'm stopped. Stop. Now I have to go. Okay? So we will speak to each other in a couple.
I'm laughing at the comment, not the.
No.
We have to lose the
That's fine
sound.
for everyone else as well. Can anyone else hear them?
Can anyone else do that?
We'll just see when I get home. We'll just talk, or we won't talk, or we'll finish this, or we won't finish it.
Did he have a stick?
No, like
But this is
Poking
not
the bear.
love. This is not happiness.
You to
This is not.
stop.
This is.
Please stop doing this. Please, you're causing me so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die at this age. I'm gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much stress. Please
Emotional
stop.
manipulation.
Please.
Not emotional
I feel like I have a heart
Yeah.
attack almost every day. Please stop. Please
what do you
stop
do? Why-
doing it. Please stop. He's so fucking mean.
Why
You're
are
a
you
fucking
with me?
bully. Stop. Please stop. I've been begging you not to fight. I just said, can we please have a normal argument? Just even a normal conversation, fucking normal argument. And for the last hour, I've been begging you to please just leave it at that. Let's just go on with our night. I would have been able to come in with you. We would have been able to let it go in a few minutes. It would have been fine. If we allowed ourselves to have fucking normal arguments.
To have
Please,
normal
you're
arguments.
killing me with this. You're killing me. You're fucking killing me. Fuck.
Sean, could you, please, I want you to just go. I want you to take your medicine or whatever. I'm sorry that I've upset you.
Yeah,
this
I think.
much.
Thank you, Sean. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really
What's
ready.
with the 180 there?
Someone done a little flip.
Yeah.
You and Mr. Depp in the recording, correct, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You just won't let him go, will you?
That's not true. We were outside of his studio and he wanted to go and use. It was a pretext. The claim that he was upset with me was a pretext so that he would go and
We are
go
too.
on
It's hard to
Bender.
listen to.
I knew that pattern by the time
all
this
is
recording
very
happened.
hard to listen to, so if it is a bit triggering, don't be afraid to leave.
It's your
the chat.
testimony now that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio
I believe that
and he
that
was going to go
recording was.
use?
Excuse me?
He was going to go use drugs? That's your testimony now?
We were outside his
No.
studio, his man cave house, if you will, in the car.
Is it a
believe
studio?
during
Is
that
it a
recording.
Mac?
And he was going to go inside and use.
That was the pattern. And as you can hear from my voice, I'm very, very, very scared of entering into the next cycle under what I had
She said
been
goodbye and
conditioned to
everything.
understand we were at that point in our
That's
That's
relationship.
not true, is it, Ms. Heard? Mr. Depp was trying to go inside his house to see his daughter, Lily Rose.
Wow.
She might have been over that day, but
So
that's not
it's your
what he was
testimony
getting out of
now?
the car to do, and that's not what I
That
was
is
stopping him
disgusting.
from doing.
Let's play the
children,
beginning
like,
part of that recording where Mr. Depp tells you
Bringing the
that
children
he
into it.
wants
No
to go
shame.
inside to see his daughter.
And let's not do this anymore because I'm really getting frustrated. And I'm really, really, really sick of this
So don't make
argument.
sense, but-
Sorry.
Okay?
I
So
just-
let me
she
go.
said it was a
and you
studio
go,
and it wasn't.
and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
you're being
I
so-
go?
We'll circle back to this, but it's your testimony that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio.
We were in the car.
You were in the car outside of Mr. Depp's
She wasn't in
studio,
the car a
That's
second
correct.
ago.
and he wasn't telling you, please let me
Just
go
teleport.
inside my house to see my daughter. He was indicating to you that he wanted to go inside to do drugs. That's your testimony.
I know my testimony is that I knew what he was going inside to go do. I knew what stage of the cycle we were in. I knew the patterns by then, and I was desperately out of time trying to interrupt that cycle.
Let's go to May of 2016. Yesterday, Ms. Heard, Ms. Bredehoff, your attorney, showed you certain pictures from May 21, 2016. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 710, which has already been admitted into evidence.
What's this now?
Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is a photograph taken of you on May 21st, 2016. Do you recall?
Yes, that's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, if we could please do a split screen, Tom, and also pull up Defendants Exhibit 714, which has already been admitted with redactions. Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is a photograph that was also taken on May 21st, 2016, correct?
Yes, although the one to the right might have been taken the next day. I can't be sure. The reason I say that is because there's light in the background. So it looks like it was taken in the daytime, which means maybe it was the next day.
Didn't you testify that you took different lighting, pictures in different lightings on
That is-
May 21?
That is correct, yes.
And you're wearing two thin necklaces in this picture on the right. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You testified that these pictures were taken the same night.
The one on the right looks like it was taken in the daytime because I can see the daylight behind me.
But you testify that they were taken the same day.
I don't know if I think I testified that they came from the same instant of the same day, not necessarily taken on the same day.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 712, which has already been admitted. You testified yesterday. This is another photograph of you on the night of May 21.
That's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, can we please do a split screen and also pull up Defendant 713, which has already been admitted? Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday. This is also a photograph of you from the same night, correct?
That is correct.
You testified yesterday that the only difference between these two photographs is that the light was turned on.
That's what it appears to be, yes.
Appears. She's
The light is on in both of these pictures, though. Isn't that right?
It looks to me like the one on the left has the vanity light, the makeup lights, you know, the more yellow hued ones that go around the mirror on. And then the one on the right looks like it doesn't have those.
Isn't it true you just edited these photographs?
Oh, literally.
No, I've never edited a photograph.
Yeah.
Didn't you just enhance the saturation for one of these photos to make your face
Camille.
look more red?
No, that's incorrect. I didn't touch it.
Yes, you did.
You'll be able to see on the
You were
property.
sitting here in this courtroom when Mr. Isaac Baruch testified to seeing you the week after May 21, 2016, correct?
I was here.
Mr. Baruch testified that he saw you on May 22nd while you were changing the locks of your penthouse. Do you recall that testimony?
I do. I just don't know if he was right about the date, but I do remember him saying that.
He was wrong.
Testified it was his birthday, the day after his birthday.
I believe it was.
Oh, we changed it.
Mr. Baruch testified that he saw you repeatedly in the days following.
Look at the
also,
jury.
correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Baruch testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face, correct?
That is what he's testified to.
That's,
You were also here in this court when Mr. Sean Bett testified to seeing you on the evening of May 21, 2016. Is that right? You were here.
That's correct.
Mr. Bett also testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face that evening, correct?
I realize that's what he said.
sorry, hang on, hold on.
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Officer Melissa Sines testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016, right?
I saw her testimony, yes.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No.
What?
Miss Officer Sines testified that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
Ms. Heard, my question is a bit more nuanced.
So is my answer.
No, it's not.
What?
Oh, here we go again. Alliance.
Oh,
Well, Gina was looking at social media when she wasn't supposed to be, so.
what you mean? She didn't even like change everything about what she was doing after that.
No, she was on Johnny Depp's side. But she was looking at you're not supposed to be looking at social media or anything like that. No, you.
Yeah, but at least Gina actually admitted it. You can tell the other
That's
ones
true.
have. But you know, that's
Pal at the couch. Did our dog step on the bee? The bee is up next.
oh yeah. They have to mute it themselves, don't they?
Yeah, they're back up with the George.
All right, grand. I'm just jumping out. I'm just jumping like across the road there to look at the jury. Get that Jaffa cake open option.
I'm not having some snacks.
Yeah, although I just want to grab a can. Yeah, well, we can mute our mics too.
So, what's everyone's opinion on this case so far? What way do you think it's gonna end? I personally think he's still going to be found guilty. Oh, here we go. We're back now.
Tom, can we put these down, please? I think they might be confusing the witness.
Wow.
My question is more nuanced. You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face to face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
You could be crying.
Yeah, it could have been.
The red puffy face, that was your counsel's question, correct?
That was
She
her
said-
testimony in the UK.
That's incorrect, and you know that, Ms. Heard.
I disagree.
She,
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It
Isn't
doesn't
that right?
matter what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016. And he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what
So
my
no,
face
then.
looked like to be injury.
no, it's
They
a
didn't
simple answer.
consider what they walked on in the house damage, but it was.
You were sitting here when Officer William Gatlin testified by deposition about being called on May 21 to the Eastern Columbia building, and he also did not observe any injuries on you, did he? And that's what he testified to.
He didn't even know which one I was.
No, I think we all saw on video camera you identify yourself. Isn't that correct?
I had to because of how far away he was. He didn't even know who he was.
But
there
after
to
you
see.
identified yourself, he looked at you. Isn't that correct?
From a distance, yes.
And he didn't see any visible injuries either, did he?
I don't know what he saw.
Imagine getting yourself
Testified that he
identified
didn't see any
and then
visible
showing
injuries,
up on
did
the
he? I would believe that
security
he
or
didn't,
the
yes.
camera footage as well.
You were also in this courtroom when Alejandro Romero, who worked at the front desk at the Eastern Columbia building, testified about seeing you on May 25th, 2016. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. I think he said the 25th.
Yeah. And Mr. Romero testified that he didn't see any
What, she thinks
swelling
she has
or
a cap
bruises
over
on
her
your
head and no one
face
can
when
see
you were
her?
talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when
Probably put her
speaking
hands
to
in
them.
her pocket and
Isn't
told
that
her
correct?
I know that's what he testified to.
You
Yes.
put their hands in their pockets there, you won't be able to see her anymore.
Yeah.
You testified yesterday that you sought a temporary restraining order on May 27th, 2016, because you wanted to change your locks. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
You changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
I attempted to.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
Ah!
I do not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 304, which is already in evidence, and play from 254 through 439?
Oh my god, they have the elevator footage.
They always have.
Oh, did they? Oh, I didn't see this
No,
one.
he was before.
Jeez. Jim Bob Franco.
He has his own court case going on at the moment.
I'd say he does already.
He does.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that anyway. Someone get your man a cough bottle. You see him on this day?
We should.
Yeah.
Just gone off to get him now. They only had a cup of coffee, it was fine.
It was a hot coffee, was it?
Pipe.
Piping hot. Oh! Oh! Yeah, see, he has a cap on. You can't see him. You can't see him. Now, if he grows facial hair, we won't know who he is.
No, he has to shave his beard off.
Oh, he has to shave his beard off. All right.
Oh, what's going on? It's getting a little saucy.
Oh, what floor are we going to?
The
Oh,
floor.
look at this. That's some coffee they must be having. Is he smelling whole coffee as well? James Franco. Shit pass.
character unlocked.
That's you and Mr.
Respect
Franco
plus.
on May 22nd, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you're taking him up to the penthouses, aren't you?
That's where I lived, yes.
And it's past 11 p.m. at night. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure of the time it looked like that.
Why don't we pull that
What, by
video
the
back
elevator
up?
door?
Look like that, yeah. It's time stamped.
Like it's right in front of you, still trying to give it the El Pinocchio treatment.
22:51. Almost midnight, right?
That's
Or, excuse me, almost 11 o'clock at night.
exactly.
Who's this?
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town the week of May 21,
Who's this fella?
2016, didn't you?
I don't know what I knew of his schedule at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town on May 27th when you went to get the domestic violence restraining order. Isn't that right?
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
You knew Mr. Depp was heading out on a European tour that week. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure what I understood of his schedule at that time.
You knew he wouldn't be back for weeks, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Let's go back to that recording. It's Defendants Exhibit 598. So you testified that you and Mr. Depp were in the car outside of his studio. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were trying to prevent him from going into his studio to do drugs, right?
Yeah, to effectively start another cycle.
Not that Mr. Depp was just trying to go into his house to see his daughter, right?
His daughter might be one of the people that was in the house at that time, but that's
She messing.
neither here nor there. That
Your
wouldn't
testimony is now
prevent him
listed.
from entering a cycle.
Your testimony is now that Mr. Depp
She
does
only
drugs in
meant to
front of
say
his
hearsay
children.
as well.
Well, first of all, I know he does. Second of all, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have stopped him from using with his friends, which is the problem, not whether or not his daughter was there.
His kids aren't there, it's not the
Defendants
problem.
598
Wow.
at 4948 through 5035.
For the streets.
5035.
I'm not. I'm itching. I don't want to be doing this. I want it just to. Why don't you just say, okay, baby, I understand. I'll go home and you do your thing, hang out with your daughter, and then I'll see you in a couple hours and we'll talk about it. Is it that difficult to say that? Or you just fucking hate me and you want to be shitty about it? Please. Just fucking, it's not that difficult. Okay? I don't want to stand here in a driveway and argue with you.
What?
Okay, well, I'll see you in a little bit, okay? Please? Please. Just let me know if you're going to go somewhere. Just let me know, please, so I know.
Even after all that, he's still like, he's very caring.
And almost an hour later, you're still arguing with Mr. Depp outside, right?
I don't know how long that argument lasted, no.
Ms. Heard, you testified about seeking a domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes, I have.
And how you wanted to do it discreetly?
That's correct.
That's what she brought to the papers.
That you wanted
Yeah.
as much privacy as you could have?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's correct.
article in
And
paper,
how you
yeah.
walked out to a sea of paparazzi and cameras and photographers, right?
That is correct.
And
Oh,
how
she's
this overwhelmed you?
It was overwhelming, yes.
Because you didn't want this attention on you?
That is correct.
If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 800,
Oh,
which has already
what's
been
this
admitted
gonna
into
be?
evidence.
I'll catch her out on you.
Yeah.
This is a photograph of you taken inside the courthouse when you obtained the DVRO, correct?
That's correct.
And your friend Raquel Pennington took this photograph?
Yes, that's correct.
Because you needed to document your time at the courthouse getting a DVRO?
She just took a picture of me. I'm assuming it was in relation to my divorce, yeah.
If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 801, which has already been admitted into evidence. Ms. Heard, this is another photograph of you taken inside the courthouse, isn't that right?
That is correct.
Were you having a photo shoot inside the courthouse while you were getting a DVRO?
I would not characterize it that way, Ms. Vasquez.
You have a mark on your face, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
You didn't use your bruise kit this time to cover it up?
No, it was the only day I actually walked out of my house without makeup on.
Oh, it's the
I had to
only
be
day,
stopped.
was it?
My
Yeah.
best friend saw me in the bathroom, starting to put makeup on and told me not to.
All right. Please pull up Exhibit 1.
That's plaintiffs at 1.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
No.
Apologies.
That's fine.
It's already been admitted into
Yes, ma'am.
evidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wrote this op-ed, right, Ms. Heard?
Wow.
With the help of the ACLU, yes,
That's what you testified to in this courtroom, right?
that is correct.
And this was published on December 18th, 2018, correct?
Yeah, she said
That is
bruise
correct.
kick.
Aquaman was released on December
Aquaman.
21st,
Do the
2018, right?
bruise.
That is,
Wow.
yes, that sounds correct.
Also, she
And that
tricked
was your
her.
first
Ah, she's
blockbuster,
good. I
big
didn't
budget
even see
role,
that.
right?
That's slap the cheeks
I
out.
disagree, but it was the first time I had like
No, that
a
was
leading
probably
role in a
released
movie
on
of that size,
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
Well, second time, yes.
What was your first time?
But the first one was the film I talked about before. I mean, yesterday, Justice League. It introduced the character. So, technically, it was the second one.
But you were the love interest in Aquaman, correct?
That is correct.
Aquaman.
Now, at least parts of this op-ed are about Mr. Depp, isn't that right?
It's about what happened to me after.
You sat here during opening statements when your attorney argued that the context of your statements in this op-ed matter, correct?
That's correct.
So let's go through some of that context.
Ah,
What happened?
is this us or is it YouTube? Can somebody let us know?
Oh, it's buffering.
Friends and advisors told me I would never work again as an actress, that I would be blacklisted.
Oh, please say that
Statement, aren't you?
In general, I'm referring to being associated with domestic violence.
And you're referring to what you claim happened after you got an ex-party.
It's
It's YouTube, all right, Grant. That's fine.
Aquaman.
I suppose the live that we're watching now has like 1 million people in it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if it was us, we wouldn't be working either.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Well, might as well just go through the social medias while we're waiting for the book.
Questions arose as to
it's
whether
back.
I would
Never
be able
mind.
to keep my role of Mira in the films Justice League and Aquaman. This is also referring to your accusations of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
This is referring to what happened to me after I got my TRO, my restraining order.
Against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
These questions arose only after you accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence in May of 2016, allegedly, right?
Yeah, from the time I got the TRO, being associated with domestic violence, that's what it's a reference to, yes.
You also wrote, quote, imagine a powerful man as a ship like the Titanic. That ship is a huge enterprise. When it strikes an iceberg, there are a lot of people on board desperate to patch up holes, not because they believe in or care about the ship, but because their own fates depend on the enterprise.
What?
In this op-ed, you're saying Mr. Depp is a ship, right?
Yeah, he's a black girl.
I'm making an analogy to a powerful
Captain
man
Shakespeare.
as a ship.
The powerful man you're referring to in this analogy is Mr. Depp, right?
I was talking about a bigger issue actually than just Johnny. I was talking about what we as a country were talking about at the time of writing this, which is when powerful men in general do something horrible or something they shouldn't, how there is a system in place to protect them, clean up after them, maintain them afloat. This is
She's not wrong, but
a
she's
reference
using
to
that
not
for her own
just
advantage.
Johnny.
She
It was
wasn't that right.
about what was happening as a culture when we were addressing a lot of Me Too issues for the first time.
The iceberg is you in this analogy, right, Ms. Heard?
I would not say that. That was not what I intended to know.
So this is another reference to your accusations against
The
Mr. Depp.
analogy of people
No,
dying
this
on the
is
ship.
about what happened to me once I left that relationship and got a TRO and became associated with domestic violence.
But it's your testimony that this op-ed isn't about Mr. Depp, right?
It's about what happened to me after. That's
It's
correct.
about your experience after obtaining a temporary restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct, among other things.
Is that what it's
It's
about?
not about Mr.
Yeah.
Depp.
It is not about him.
Mr. Depp is making it about Mr. Depp, right?
Ironically,
It's kind of like that Carly Simon song, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't know what you mean.
Let's talk about the defamatory statements in the op-ed that you also claim are not about Mr. Depp. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. This is about Mr. Depp, isn't it?
No,
You wrote this in 2018, right?
exactly.
And 2 years prior was 2016, right?
That's true.
Okay.
That's correct. It's
So
not about
May of
Johnny.
two-
It's about
Ms.
what
Heard-
happened to me
Ms. Heard, my
after.
question was May of 2016 is 2 years prior to December of 2018,
That's
correct?
correct.
May 2016 is when you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence, right?
I got my restraining order at that time.
And you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence.
Yes, that was attached to my restraining order. So yes,
May
You
of
don't make that
2016 is
public.
when you sought a restraining order against Mr. Depp.
that's correct. And I had to
May-
provide testimony for that.
She went
May
public with her story, and
2016
her
is when you
story
walked into
backfired on
court
her. The truth
With a
didn't
mark
come
on
out
your
on that one.
face to obtain that restraining order. Yes or no?
That was the day I walked into court with a bruise on my face. Yes.
And you were photographed with that mark on your face, weren't you?
I walked out to a bunch of photographers. Yes.
May 2016 is when you told the world that Mr. Depp had physically abused you during your relationship. Isn't that right?
That I had to provide testimony as part of my restraining order application. Yes.
And that's how you became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Right, Ms. Heard?
From that point on. Yes.
That's when you claimed you faced our culture's wrath,
That's
right?
when it started. Yes.
But it's your testimony under oath that this statement is not about Mr. Depp.
It is not. It is about what happened to me afterwards. Was the more interesting thing for me to write about.
The next statement reads, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. This is also about Mr. Depp, isn't that right?
Not just about him, but he is included in that. Yes.
He's the man you accused of abuse 2 years prior to this op-ed. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, but I wrote this op-ed in the context of many men at the time that were public figures or in this public eye being accused as well. So it was a reference in general to a larger phenomenon, not just Johnny.
Not just Johnny.
Not just Johnny.
Not just him.
But it was.
And then
About him.
you write, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. This one's also about Mr. Depp.
I did not write that.
Well, you've accused Mr. Depp of sexual violence in this very courtroom, haven't you?
Yes, but I was intending to keep that private when this was published. I had not publicly ever accused him of that.
I'm going to move to strike everything after the word yes.
Publicly.
No,
do
I'll
you know
overrule the
what?
objection. Go ahead.
You may not have written this title, but you published it, didn't you?
I did not publish a title. I retweeted the article that included the title in it because that was the article.
But if it was
Let's
fake,
pull
what
up,
would you
please,
read?
Plaintiff's Exhibit 3, which is already in
Exactly.
evidence. This is a tweet from your Twitter account on December 19th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
Your Honor, oh, it's already in evidence?
It is in evidence.
Thank you.
Yes.
So on December 19th, 2018, you tweeted, quote, today I published this op-ed in the Washington Post. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And the tweet includes a link to the op-ed we were just looking
said
at,
she
correct?
didn't do that.
That's correct.
And you can see that the title of the op-ed in your tweet is, quote, opinion, Amber Heard. I spoke up against sexual violence, right?
Yes, you don't get to change the title of an article you're retweeting.
But you said you published it.
And that's the title that you put on your Twitter, correct?
I did not put it on my Twitter, no.
You linked it to your tweet.
I retweeted the article.
You published it.
She messing.
I retweeted a link to an article that I wrote.
And you published it on your Twitter account. All right.
I retweeted it.
You testified yesterday
So yes,
that you didn't
then.
have any
Yes,
control
that's
over the
what
title
retweeting is.
just now of the op-ed when you retweeted it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
This wasn't a retweet though, right?
A tweet? Perhaps not retweet. I'm not quite sure.
It was
I guess
a tweet.
Tweet. I misspoke. Excuse
It's
me.
a
Coughing
copy.
again,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not retweet.
Told you,
You
didn't it?
included a link to the electronic copy of the op-ed in your tweet, right?
That's what I was trying to say earlier, and I might have misspoke. It's like I'm trying to attach it.
Right. So you included a link, right? to
Yes,
the
that's
op-ed.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So it wasn't.
So
agreed
you
to.
must have seen the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you tweeted it, right?
I may have, I just didn't notice it.
Not very careful about what you publish, are you, Ms. Heard?
I just didn't notice the title.
You didn't need to include the link to the electronic version of the op-ed in your tweet, did you?
How else would I have linked it?
Well, you didn't need to include the link to tell the world that today you had published this op-ed in the Washington Post about women who are challenging their rage and about violence and equality into political strength despite the price of coming forward.
For women going through this, like,
Right?
I couldn't attach it with a paper clip.
No, but you didn't need to attach it at all to tell the world
Oh,
that
I see
you
what you're
had
saying.
published an op-ed.
No, the goal was to tweet about it and to provide a link so that people could read it.
The op-ed is in your name, right?
That's correct.
So if you had noticed the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you included it in your tweet, you could have asked the Washington Post to change it. Isn't that right?
No, that's not.
But you didn't do that, right? You never asked the Washington Post to change the title.
I didn't notice it and I didn't ask them, nor do I think I needed to.
You're the one.
At the bottom, do you see that there's another tweet from December 19th,
every
2018?
time I think she can't get
Yes,
more
I do.
unbelievable.
And in this one, it reads, I am honored to announce my role as an ACLU ambassador on women's rights. Did I read that right?
That's correct.
So you announced your ACLU ambassadorship the same day you posted the op-ed on your Twitter.
I think
right?
that was always the plan, is to attach the article with the announcement that I was an ambassador.
Your Honor, if I may, would this be a good time to stop for lunch?
No, it's too
No.
early.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay.
We got to keep going at least till 12:30.
Okay, that's
thank
fine,
you.
Your Honor. Thank you. You testified yesterday about your counterclaim against Mr. Depp in this case. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Your counterclaim is based on 3 statements made by Mr. Depp's attorneys, Adam Waldman. Is that right?
That's correct.
We looked at those 3 statements yesterday, right?
That's correct.
And the first statement was from an April 8th, 2020 article, right?
That's correct.
And that's Defendants Exhibit 1245 that's been previously admitted. Would you please pull that up? Thank you. If we could please publish that. Thank you. We can scroll down to the 8th page. Mr. Waldman's statement is buried on the 8th page of a 12-page article. Is that right, Ms. Heard?
I don't know how many pages are here.
Well, this is the 8th page.
It's the
Let's go to the
article
12th.
Yep. That's what I think. Anyway, that's where I got from it.
Let's pull up, please, Defendants Exhibit 1246, which has already been admitted.
The noise in that mic is awful.
I don't know.
And if we could please go to Mr. Waldman's statement on page 10. And go on to page 11 of a That's Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
That is correct. I think it's
all not blacked out 'cause
Mr.
it's
Waldman
redacted?
speaking on behalf of Johnny, yes.
You don't have any evidence of that, do you, Ms. Heard? This is Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
I think it's included in the article as well.
No, literally.
That this is Mr.
Yeah,
Waldman's
literally
statement.
cough.
Correct.
That a representative or an attorney, I don't know which word it says in the article, that it says very clearly that they're speaking on behalf of Johnny or representing Johnny.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 8818, 881A, excuse me. If we could please go to page 8 of this article.
Why should you keep pulling faces? Quick, look up at the jury there as well.
Yeah, she should look at them again and give them the old 1 minute or something. Innocent until proven guilty.
Well, that is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, of course. What's happening here?
Sorry, Your Honor. May I just
All right,
approach?
yes, ma'am.
You're just getting evidence.
Yep.
Taking a few minutes.
Aquaman. I wonder what he drew today.
Yeah, exactly. The little sweeties on his desk.
Again with the coffin. That cough's a bit suspicious. Like,
What? She's literally staring them over.
why is she doing that?
Why she keep doing that with her mouth?
She's bleeding and sweating for
We'll come back to this. Sorry, Ms. Heard. Sorry, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Let's go ahead and take this down, please. Thanks. You testified yesterday about how your reputation was before these 3 statements were made, correct?
Yes, I did.
You testified that your career was going very well before.
I think I said the trajectory was positive, yes.
You testified you had a global campaign for L'Oreal, right?
That is correct.
You testified you were waiting on a schedule for Aquaman 2.
That is correct.
You testified you were scheduled to do a press tour for the TV show The Stand.
Press obligations, yes.
And then you testified that after the articles, you were no longer actively involved in the L'Oreal campaign. Isn't that right?
They suspended using my material.
And that you were no longer involved in the publicity surrounding The Stand after the articles, right?
That's correct.
And you didn't hear anything about the schedule for Aquaman 2.
Correct.
Oh, she's in it.
Ms. Heard, you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason you are allegedly no longer active in the L'Oreal campaign, do you?
Well, I mean, other than my awareness that they can't use me because of all of the online attention that generated.
And you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason that the Stand media opportunities allegedly stopped, do you?
Yeah, I know they couldn't attach my name to their promotional materials because of the online stuff.
In fact, there was a lot of reasons why you were no longer active in these endeavors. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
Reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Waldman's statements. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
There was a lot of publicity about your relationship with Mr. Depp around the time Mr. Waldman made the 3 statements at issue, right?
I do not recall.
A lot of really negative publicity for you, Ms. Heard. Isn't that right?
There's been an ongoing smear campaign, yes.
An ongoing negative publicity campaign.
It's an orchestrated smear campaign.
You have no evidence of that, do you, Ms. Heard?
Just look me up, you'll see.
So no.
Let's take a look at some of that.
Wow.
All right.
But she's telling the juries that are rough. They kind of can't.
Yeah, she did. She literally told the whole courtroom just to look her up after they were all told not to go online and look anything up.
Yeah, but go and look it up though.
Go and look it up. But I thought it was they were told not to.
Then yeah, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to get any outside opinions or anything like that. So when they're sequestered in, everything gets taken off them and they're just in the hotel then for as long as the trial goes on.
So she just swayed opinions there, or attempted to, would you say? Or
I don't know.
it's hard to say, isn't it? But look her up. I like the way she was like, yeah, an online smear campaign. She's like, yeah, but you've no evidence of that.
Yeah, but why not? It's because our dog stepped on a bait, that's why.
What do you think of herself here?
She's tripping herself up a lot, I think. What about you?
Yeah, like 1 minute she's like 100% that never happened, this never happened, and then she's doubling back on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I mean, the solicitor or lawyer, sorry, yeah, throw her up there when that
It's
comes
not,
up.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's not. Ah!
Yeah, what does it say in there? She's not answering any questions. She's just like jumping around there and then saying like when she's getting asked simple questions, like yes or no, she's like jumping around saying that's not what happened, and then she's changing, and then on top of that, then she somewhere manages to word about some type of slander about Johnny Depp, or like even what's going on as well. Like Camille knows how to push the buttons there. Like when she talked about you didn't get the role yourself in Aquaman, she like switched like that.
She didn't know.
I know that it was Johnny Depp that got it. Like everyone knows that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, because I didn't know anything about it until I heard of Johnny Depp. And we all know Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow, so he was well known before this.
No.
No, Edward Scissorhands, sorry.
That was Willy Wonka.
Is it?
Mhm.
What do you think? Do you think she's still going to win it regardless?
I think she's still going to win it, yeah.
Yeah, I think somehow it's going to be swayed that.
She's telling the truth.
Yeah, like even when they're asking Johnny Depp about like stuff where he's like, "Did you slam the press?" and something, he's like, "Yeah, I did." And then like they're literally playing the recording of her doing this, and then asking about it, and she goes, "That didn't happen." It's like, what?
That's not the case, is it not? No.
Like they literally played it in front of you. But I suppose it's the judge's say at the end of the day. The judge can just go, no.
It's a jury.
It's the jury on this one, is it?
Whenever it's a jury case, it's the jury.
See, I'm not legally trained. I'm just
Neither am I.
opinions.
I'm not legally trained.
So we're just sharing our opinion. We're not on either side. We're just
I think everyone knows what's right or wrong.
our side.
Peace up.
So what does everyone think so far? Like, what way is this gonna go? What way is it swaying? Peace up, A-Town. As Danielle just said.
That's right.
Make a point. You want to take that thing?
No.
I need to just share out the stream.
Mhm.
Could end up being a home jury.
It could be. I think it's either going to be a mistrial, or they're gonna. I don't know why I can't speak there, or it's going to be. It goes in her favor. I don't know why though, but I have a feeling, even though there's so much evidence against her. But we'll see. Is she having a good old shin wag up there with the judge? He's up there for a while, I think.
Yeah.
What are they getting up to? I wonder what they're doing. Time will tell. We shall see. Hello.
Hello.
She keeps getting very aggro on the stand, though, I think.
Yeah.
Like, whenever she's caught out or doesn't know how to answer the question properly, she kind of just... Or her whole demeanour changes. Look at all these lovely people in the court. Oh, hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Thanks for joining. They're just up talking to the judge now, so... We're waiting to see what happens. Have you been keeping an eye on the case? Working again. Is it still appreciation week? You getting any more potatoes? Well, that's what it was.
Yeah, I know. Still funny.
I know. They're taking their time. They're still not back yet. Mad things. Just panning out on everyone again that works there. Or that's sitting in the audience.
Sorry, just fixing this link room.
No, that's fine. Take your time. Take your time. Hello, everybody joining in now. What are your thoughts on this case? Let us know in the comments. Blocked my whole face there. Oh, somebody else is going. Taking a walk up to the judge. Let's see. Looks like they're going to be here for a while. Oh, never mind. She sat back down. What's all going on now? What do you all think about the coffin that's going on, though? That's a bit odd. Definitely something odd going on with the coffin.
Yeah, there keeps being like 3 or 4 different tones of the coffin. Every time like something happens, you hear like a different fixation of the way the cough comes out. The show's like, oh, and then it goes, oh.
James has joined the chat again.
Yeah, sorry.
They're still up there. Look at the line go. She's like, my client is winning this.
And she was like, can you get me an autograph at the end? But I didn't mean to object so many times.
Exactly.
Just doing my job.
I'm actually a big fan.
I'm a DJ myself.
Someone said Rottenborn's not there anymore. Is he actually not? Because we haven't really seen over that side of the room too much. So
What's the matter on his holidays?
why were you on his holidays in the middle of a case? They just had a week off. We could have went on his holidays then.
Yeah,
He went to Spain.
No, he went to Portugal.
He went to Portugal, did he?
To see Aquaman.
Aquaman.
A lot of them, was Johnny Depp drunk in some of them recordings? Or was he just like...
I have no idea because he has kind of an odd voice. Very like slow and stuff.
Like she's like, you stressed me out and stuff like that. He didn't even say anything. He was saying goodbye to her.
Yeah, but he's stressing her out.
He's like, I'm going on here now, and he literally makes sure his driver's looking after him, bringing her home.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're doing this to me. This is you. And it's like, what? What is going on?
Who's doing what to who? To where?
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, someone there a few minutes ago said he has 86, was it, pieces of evidence against him?
Oh, 87.
87, yeah, security video. So,
yeah.
We'll see if any of them are brought up. Do you want to hold that for a minute? My ears hurt. Oh, pop these off for a minute.
You might as well take a break while
you're taking your little break.
Yeah.
Oh. So, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll let that play up there.
Yeah.
Oh. Sarah's back in the corner. We can hide over here now.
Hi.
Yeah, so this is on the break. We'll just leave it going and we go get something.
Yeah, we'll go get our gin tins when it's on a break.
Yeah, and we'll leave the live stream open for everyone to chat amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Aquaman. I wonder what's going to happen here now. Is this supposed to be 10 hours today, this cross-examination, is it?
It's gone off of 10, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be good. That's grand. I'll get a bit of editing done after.
Yeah. You sure will. Are we going to watch it all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well get on a cup of tea and
That's true, yeah.
cut up the stream cake.
Yes, look, if anybody has us on any social medias, we have our emergency cake.
We have our stream cake.
You always have to have emergency cake.
Yeah, our gluten-free stream cake.
Always, it's so good.
Are we back now?
Make sure to share us out and like and stuff. Are we? No.
No. Okay. Camille is just like going through. Like every time it's like you're trying to hear what's going on and you think like you're about to follow on with her and she hits her with something else like perfect.
But like as I said, she's not answering any questions.
Yeah, she's
Can
just...
you give me a yes or no answer? She goes off on a tangent. Oh, a lion snapping up there in the corner.
Yeah, she's going mad.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Here we go.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
You're welcome.
So, Ms. Hurd, my last question to you was that there was a lot of negative publicity for you around the time that Mr. Waldman made these statements. Isn't that correct?
Oh, the coffin.
I believe that they were made, I believe that the statements kind of kept being attached to new defamatory, or, articles that were like smear campaign sort of attack articles is what it.
Okay. Let's go through some of the articles that were out in the press. So, Plaintiff's Exhibit 1267. just publish that just for the witness, that would be great. Thank you. This is an article published on February 2nd, 2020, and the title is hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp trends after Amber Heard admits to hitting actor in audio clip. Do you see that?
I see that.
And if we can go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1268. This one was published on February 3rd, 2020. It reads the title, Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording.
Yeah,
Do you see
that's
that?
when his lawyer leaked an edited tape.
Ms. Heard. Do you see the title? Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording. Do you see that?
I see the title.
Okay. We could please go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1269. This one was published on March 17th, 2020. Amber Heard slammed door into Johnny Depp's head, reveals new audio. Do you see that?
Yeah, these are more of the PR plans.
Let's
go to 1270.
No, only she's allowed to do that.
This one was published on March 31st, 2020. Amber Heard to be sacked from Jason Momoa's Aquaman after Johnny Depp's controversy, reports. Do you see that?
I do.
We can go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1271.
You forgot to look at the jury there.
What do you mean?
Mom, give them a look.
You see the title that says, Johnny Depp says ex-wife Amber Heard sliced his finger off, and it, quote, erupted like the Vesuvius?
I just don't know when that was. I've never seen that article.
Yeah, she has.
We can go to 1272. This one was published on May 29th, 2020, and it says, when Amber Heard confessed to smashing a door into Johnny Depp's head, clocking him in the jaw. Do you see that?
I see that.
Going to 1275.
I was flying when I were reading now articles about Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah, no,
This one was published on July 15th, 2020. Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story. Ex-aide tells libel trial. Do you see that?
This was Adam Waldman as well.
But do you see it though?
It doesn't say Mr. Waldman. It actually says Kate James also says she often received abusive text messages from Johnny Depp's ex-wife, doesn't it?
I just know because he threw down the
Thanks,
article.
Michelle.
Miss Heard, isn't that what that
Mr.
says?
Waldman threw the newspaper at
Heard.
me afterwards.
Miss Heard, that's not my question.
Oh, I've
What
My
was your
question
I'm
is-
sorry.
The
Even
title of the
newspaper.
article says, Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story, ex-aide tells libel trial. Kate James also says, Your Honor, she opened the door by saying it was Adam Waldman.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Let's go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1276. Amber Heard admits to hitting fucking baby Johnny Depp in court audio. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's go to
Correct,
1277.
or did she? Oh, do you know what?
Published July 28th, 2020. Amber Heard's sister thought she was going to kill Johnny Depp, claims witness. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
I see that.
And 1278.
Even her sister.
Published on July 28th, 2020. Johnny Depp was the victim of abuser Amber Heard, London's High Court told. Do you see that?
I do see that.
Do you see it though?
Yeah, what do you say?
Mm.
Look at the jury there just to make sure you see.
Oh, do you see it as well? Oh.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and take our lunch recess then. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our hour lunch recess at this point. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research. Okay, we'll see you now.
Don't do any outside research. Everyone. Twitter.
Yeah, the Camille is part of Johnny's team.
Oh my god, that was the wrong one. Yeah, so she's getting cross-examined now by his solicitors.
Yep.
Or lawyers, or whatever they're called. Aaron.
All right, we'll come back at 1:35 then. Is that fine? All right, thank you.
All right.
She's standing there trying to get a look at him now.
No.
Or does she
She
have
just
to?
has to stand up wait until the... Oh my god, excuse me. Until the judge leaves, I think.
Oh, the camera's staying on her anyway. Let's see what happens. I don't know. She's out first.
She's off now, mad thing. I shouldn't say that, actually. Didn't mean that in any way.
Yeah, I know. Our normal slang is gonna like cross.
I know,
lapse
yeah.
here. People are gonna think we mean something else when we keep speaking in our own slang.
I know, we have to, like, be careful. Does he have a mullet? Oh my god, he has a mullet.
Does he have them?
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. Was it a party in the back, business in the front?
Exactly. That is a weird...
There's the clock there.
There's... Oh, there we go. That's the clock. Anyone was wondering?
Sorry, is it?
Think so. Not too sure. We might be a little behind.
It usually tells the timer then, doesn't it?
The timer should be on. I don't know what the timer is though. Yeah. Michelle, a lot of stuff has come out now. Like she's already admitted that to hitting him and abusing him.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
There's a lot of evidence and a lot of recording showing like the level of abuse that he has suffered. Like you can hear it blatantly.
Yeah.
And basically saying to him, you know, trying to tell him that he wasn't like properly punched and she only done this to him and all that. Like
she only slaps him. So it doesn't count because she only slapped him. It's like, well, no, it does count actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you go.
Look
There.
at 2 minute timer on it.
Is it 2 minutes though?
No, it's an hour.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so we skew off there now and get something to eat.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the stream on anyway, and
we'll have our phones on us, so if you want to keep talking in the live chat, we'll be here. We'll be back. When they're back, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back on then. We'll be in the live chat with everyone though.
That does count. Any slap's not good. Yeah, exactly.
Any type of violence, full stop, like.
100%. So, yeah, she's a little bit. I don't know. Her stories are all over the place and they don't add up.
Yeah, there's been like more than enough evidence at the moment to show who's after getting what. But again, there's still a whole case to go, so we're not gonna make a full judgment until.
Well, she hasn't finished her. This is only this is only the second day of her being cross-examined. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So far, Johnny's legal team, Camille, is annihilating her and ripping through her story. So we'll see how it goes from there and share our thoughts. Yeah, a lot of people are on Johnny's side at the moment, but there's still a lot of people who are still on her side too.
Yeah, I think somebody put the wrong timer on.
I think so.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna pop off for a bit, but we will be back.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're going to keep the live stream and all on, so if anyone wants to have a chat.
Yeah, we'll be in the chat, so we're going to mute the mics.
Bye, guys. See you in an hour.
Welcome to For the Record, coming to you live from the Fairfax County Courthouse as the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is well underway. And what a morning it's been. Cross-examination of Amber Heard a tough cross-examination by Johnny Depp's attorney, Camille Vasquez. She has asked Amber Heard a number of questions and asked her to explain a number of things. We've heard a bunch of recordings too, some that we've heard before, some we haven't. So we want to start, though, by telling you that, of course, it's lunchtime, right, in the trial. So we're taking your questions live on our YouTube channel. So we want you to submit those on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and in our YouTube chat, and our experts will answer them. And I'll answer them too if I know the answers. So we want you to do that, and we'll get to as many of your questions as we can. But first, we want to show you a little bit of the cross-examination. This, of course, started yesterday afternoon. And this is Camille Vasquez attempting to impeach Amber Heard about the injuries that she claims she suffered at the hands of Johnny Depp. Listen, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony in a deposition in this matter in January of this year?
I do.
Can we please play from your deposition, day 2, 512, page 512, line?
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times while he was wearing rings on this occasion, correct?
Which occasion in March are you referencing? You weren't
The
specific.
testimony that you gave on day 15 of this trial, March of 2013. You weren't specific as to the day.
There were several incidents.
The one where he hit you several times in the face.
I'm sorry, just so I understand better, there were several incidents in March. Which one are you asking me about?
The time that he hit you several times in the face wearing rings.
Well, he pretty much
March of
always,
2013.
right. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
He was wearing rings on that occasion.
I pretty much always knew him to wear rings.
You also testify that Mr. Depp, again, whacked you in the face after the Met Gala in May of 2014, right?
That is correct.
You testified that you thought he hit you so hard he broke your nose.
That's correct.
You said your nose was, quote, swollen, discolored, red.
That is correct. I took a picture of that.
You testified you took a picture of your face after this.
I did.
But you didn't show that picture to the jury, did you?
I would like to.
But you didn't show it, did you?
That's not up to me.
You understand you were under an obligation to produce all photographs after any alleged incidents of violence, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
You didn't produce any photographs after the Met Gala.
I produced everything.
You also understand that you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers, everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
Is it your testimony, Ms. Heard, that you sought medical treatment after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose after the Met Gala?
Not after the Met Gala. I did not seek medical attention, no.
You also attended an event after the Met Gala in May of 2014, didn't you?
That is correct.
And you went to the All-Star Comedy Tribute to Don Rickles.
That is correct.
That was the next night after the Met Gala.
That is correct.
And there were pictures of you taken at this event.
Yes.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Right. And makeup covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. Ice will, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice reduces swelling. Normally, the swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine. And for me, it wasn't that bad. I have a picture of it underneath the makeup. That's how I know how to reference it.
A picture you haven't produced or shown
did.
to this jury, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
But you haven't shown it to this jury.
I would very much like to. It's not my job.
Okay, Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's attorney, cross-examining Amber Heard about these injuries. Johnny Depp, as you've seen in court every day, we see his hands. He wears the big rings. She's claiming she was injured by Johnny Depp and suffered possibly a broken nose. Well, guess what? She's saying she used ice and makeup to cover that up. So lots to talk about there. Ladies, I am with Linda Kenny Bodden today, of course. Linda holding down the fort in New York. And thanks for having me on, Linda, from the courthouse. Marie Pereira, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, is with us as well. And Dina Dahl, a law and crime legal analyst. Ladies, we all wear makeup. Linda Kenny Bodden, I'm going to start with you. Your thoughts on that little bit of cross-examination?
I mean, and Jeanette, I really want to know what the jury thought. But what I thought was the cross-examination has been fabulous, especially on that. Anyone who's ever had a broken nose, who watches a sporting event, when basketball players, push into somebody and they get a broken nose, they are bruised, they are bleeding, they have blueness in the face, they have redness in the face. That picture showed that she had nothing in the face. Makeup was not covering that up.
All right. I think we should take some questions. It's time to take questions. Let's start with you, Dina Dahl. This comes from Amrit Pal 79 from YouTube. She asks, or he or she asks, I should say, if Johnny Depp wins this case, does that mean he can appeal the case he lost in the UK? Marie, I think this is an interesting question because the UK case, he wasn't allowed to appeal. He was denied the right to appeal. So what do you say about that?
I think if he wins this case, it will not impact what happened in the UK. Of course, I'm not admitted in the UK. I don't know their laws, but that case is settled, and I don't think one case is going to impact the other.
And Dina, our next question comes from Twitch. It is from Pranab, I hope I pronounced that properly. Can Miss Vasquez, Camille Vasquez, enforce the yes and no requirements for Amber answering the questions?
Well, it's really up to the judge to enforce it. She can ask, and we see in most instances she does ask for everything that after the yes to be stricken, and then of course Amber Heard's attorney objects to that. She wants the full answer in, and then we see the judge decide. Sometimes the judge has allowed the whole answer in, and sometimes not. It really is not so much the lawyer can enforce it. They're really asking the judge, who is the one who decides the evidence and this statement, whether or not it's applicable evidence to the question or not.
All right. Good question. Good answer from Dina Dahl. We're going to take a quick break. Keep your questions coming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We love answering your questions, so keep them rolling in and we'll get to them as quickly as we can. We have to take this break for the network, right, on television. So YouTube people, stay with us. It'll just be a few minutes. You are watching For the Record live from the Fairfax County Courthouse on Law and Crime. Welcome back to For the Record here on the Law and Crime Trial Network. We are coming to you live from outside the Fairfax County Courthouse, where the defamation trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is well underway. We are on a lunch break as cross-examination of Amber Heard is taking place. And joining us is our good friend Gene Rossi, former federal prosecutor and cool guy. Look at the shades. Très chic, Gene. We are taking your questions on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, so keep them coming. We love answering your questions. And I'm going to throw this first question to Gene. Sure. Gene, this comes from Lady_New Rican. She asks, are all of these objections, when they go up to the judge, used against their time? And as we know, the judge has set time limits for each side in this case. And let's clarify here, these are sidebars when there's an objection or what have you, and they approach. So does that go against their time? What do you think?
It depends on the judge's rulings. If it is a request by the attorney who's asking for the sidebar, I think it should go against that attorney's time. If it's made by the opposing counsel, I think it should be subtracted from their time, but it depends on the rules of the court. I will say this, there are too many sidebars, too many. It's getting ridiculous, and jurors are going to start holding it against the attorneys who asked for the sidebars. And some of them, I got to say, they are totally unnecessary.
I don't like sidebars because I don't know what's going on. Right. So I'm totally anti-sidebar, but I digress. All right. You know what is interesting, though? I'm just going to tag a note onto that. I've covered trials where, because sometimes sidebars can cause appellate issues in cases, and I've covered trials where after the jury leaves the room or what have you, the judge will put what they discussed in the sidebar on the record. So I'm a big fan of that. Hint, hint, Judge Ascarati, if you're watching this. All right, Linda, I'm going to send this question to you. I don't know who, it's Kimberly Fine from Facebook, actually. It's at the bottom. How would a potential perjury proceeding against Amber play out? Would Johnny's team play a role in that, or would the court be acting alone? Could Amber's team possibly face consequences as well?
Well, really interesting question. Obviously, you're thinking ahead, Kimberly, to see whether or not there will be a ruling in favor of Johnny Depp. Now, the cross-examination by Camille Vasquez is trying to point out that she's a liar, that she's not an ambassador of domestic violence, that she's an ambassador of lying. So if the judge thinks that she has committed perjury, she can make a referral to the prosecutor's office, the DA's office in that jurisdiction to investigate her. I don't know how it would go in terms of referring her in England. That's a different story. But it's actually the court that will make the referral. Sure, could the defense team, Johnny Depp's team, plaintiff's team, go to the prosecutor and say, we think that you should start perjury proceedings? Unlikely, but they would be interviewed on what they had.
Dina Dahl, I'm going to throw this next question to you because we're going to have to get into the weeds of the legal stuff here, the precedents, everything that governs defamation eventually. We're a little ways away from that, but this comes from Hannah Jane 2 from Twitch. Thanks, Hannah Jane, for tuning in. Do you think Johnny's team will be able to prove the elements of actual malice? And that is key here, actual malice. That means you did it on purpose and you knew you lied, because Johnny Depp is a public figure, and that's the standard. So that seems to be the element they will have the hardest time with, to me. That's according to Hannah Jane too. So Dina, what do you say?
It's interesting. I know usually malice is a hard one because the person's a public figure. But in this case, I actually think it might be the easiest element, because he basically has to show that she knew what she was saying was untrue or was reckless with the truth. I don't see how she could say that she as a wife didn't know whether or not her husband beat her. So to me, that's actually maybe the easiest element. I think malice is definitely going to be shown in this case. To me, what actually is harder in terms of the defamation elements is showing that those three statements were not about her, how it affected her, the TRO, but were still about whether or not he hit her.
Mm-hmm. All right, Marie Pereira, this one's for you, and we just have about 2 minutes left, so we got to make this quick. This comes from Vicky Nuno Ramsor. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly on YouTube. She asks, can you please explain when Ms. Camille Vasquez says strike for the record? And I think you know what we're talking about here. There's been a lot of that because it seems like Amber Heard tries to go beyond the question and explain a lot. So, Marie, what is your answer to that question?
It addresses the issue that I said where the judge takes too long to rule on an objection, and it allows the witness on the stand to throw in a bunch of things that really the jury shouldn't have been hearing in the first place. So strike for the record is like, I know you heard it, but strike it and don't consider it and don't put it in the record when you're in the jury room deliberating on the verdict.
All right. So there's what strike from the record means. And we have only like about 30 seconds left,
Sure.
Gene. Let's do one more. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't. We're going to hold off on that question because, or actually, no, I will throw it to you. We've got enough time. Quickly. Jordan McIntyre on YouTube. By claiming she produced everything, in quotes, and yet this supposed evidence is not in the case, what are the consequences of Heard implying her own lawyers have withheld evidence? We literally have 20 seconds.
If their attorneys withheld evidence and there was a discovery request, they will lose their bar license. Number two, in closing argument, the plaintiff's attorneys can say, they said there was this evidence, they didn't present it, it was made up.
All right. Well, Jean is going to stay with us. Linda and I and Marie, we will all stay with you. Dina Dahl, thanks so much for being with us today and for your time and expertise. As always, Dina is leaving us now, but you stay with us as we take this break for the network. You are watching For the Record on Law and Crime, live from the Fairfax County Courthouse. Welcome to the second hour of For the Record here on the Law and Crime Trial Network. I'm Anjanette Levy, and I'm coming to you live from the Fairfax County Courthouse in Virginia, where we're on a lunch break in the trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. It's a defamation case, a Hollywood defamation case, and we've been listening to cross-examination of defendant and counterclaimant Amber Heard all day long. And with me here is our good friend, Gene Rossi. He took the shades off. We've got a little bit of shade, doesn't need him anymore. He's a former federal prosecutor and also practices right here in Virginia. So he knows a lot about the law and defamation law. So as I mentioned, we are talking about cross-examination now of Amber Heard. And you probably recall on direct examination, Amber Heard made this allegation against Johnny Depp that he, when they were at this trailer park in Hicksville or something, apparently it's like a fancy trailer park, that he did a cavity search on her for her cocaine, or his cocaine, I guess. So she had made this allegation. So let's listen to a little bit of that, and we'll break it down on the other side.
You testified that you and Mr. Depp got into a fight while on the island in December of 2015, correct?
That's correct.
And this all started because you perceived Mr. Depp as nodding off during the trip, right?
I thought he was passing out again in a similar fashion to what he had done the previous year.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son, Jack, was there when this happened, right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
Right. You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified that after this, you needed to get away from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's correct.
And you admit you threw something at him, right?
I did throw something at him to get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Heard?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager on the island.
Yes, that's correct.
You heard her testify that she witnessed an argument between you and Mr. Depp on the island in December of 2015, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was the gist of it. She kind of misrepresented it to seem like that, yes.
She misrepresented it. How convenient.
That's correct.
Okay, so let me clarify. I misstated that. That was the Bahamas incident where Heard claimed that Depp sexually assaulted her in December of 2015. And he had said that she had tossed a can of mineral spirits at his nose. So just a correction there. It was not the cavity search incident. So now let's look at an audio recording. We're going to listen to this audio recording where Heard and Depp talk about this incident. And then Camille Vasquez, follows up with questions to Amber Heard.
I say when I say I'm going to try and change X, Y, and Z thing or work on blah, 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 I can only do those things. And since I have been doing those things,
What things have you been doing?
working on those things, not doing this sort of thing, trying to change. That's less several times.
Hence, screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
I would appreciate. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Johnny.
That him up, you know.
I'm sorry.
No, it weirded him out. He'd never.
I'm so sorry. I fucked kids up.
He didn't my kids up, but it was pretty. It was pretty weird for him, you know.
Because I jumped up and screamed because I had one. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm really surprised he's. So you're going for the council. I'm sure that's terrifying.
I don't need your
No, poor kid.
your clever
It's not against me again.
comebacks. No, you think you're controlling yourself.
Character.
You think you're controlling
Your
yourself.
character has become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me seem even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after having an Ambien and think, I'm gonna just forgive and move on. Trust me. It is gross. I am using the kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. I'm like, meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if you've been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is, because that would be a special kind of person. No doubt.
It's you and Mr. Depp in that recording, right?
That's correct.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah, and Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a lot of concerns.
You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
That was not the point of that conversation. If I had gotten into the details of what happened to me with him, it would have been another fight.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? In that recording.
He would often use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
I was pointing out the ridiculous nature of him expecting me not to react to something that basic.
Okay, so that's Amber Heard answering questions on cross-examination about this December 2015 incident in the Bahamas, where she claims that Johnny Depp had sexually assaulted her. Johnny Depp had testified that he had been the one assaulted by Amber Heard. And then we hear this conversation between the two. Gene, Rossi, your thoughts on this? I mean, he's saying in this recording that you freaked my kid out. You know, Jack, I don't know how old Jack is. He's, I think, an adult now, but he would have been, gosh, that's six years ago, 6.5 years ago, would have been like a kid. So your thoughts on that whole thing we just listened to?
Well, on that audio and all the other audios, and I'd love to talk to the jurors after the verdict, you have Amber Heard in the witness box, cool, calm, collected, almost an Academy Award performance, if you believe her. But on these audios, there's a completely different person in the guise of Amber Heard. Her tone of voice, her antagonistic manner. And I'm wondering if the jury is going to be turned off by what they hear on the audio because it's 180 degrees different than her description. That's what I take from these audios. And that really is the best thing they're getting out on cross. All the other stuff to me is sort of important, but that's the gestalt, if you will, of these audios. They show a different Amber Heard outside the courtroom. Jurors may not like that.
And that's I think a really good point, Gene, because is the real person the person in the witness box, or is the real person the person on the recording arguing with her husband or having conversations with her husband? Who is the real Amber Heard? And does Johnny Depp, I wonder if they'll do a juxtaposition and think, does Johnny Depp sound the same on the recordings as he does in the witness box?
I got a comment on that. Johnny Depp does sound in the courtroom the same way he does on the audios. That's good for Johnny Depp.
All right. We are taking your questions live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Submit them and we will do our best to get to them. Apparently, this is from T, a $10 question on YouTube. So I hope if you paid for us to answer a question, thanks. You didn't have to do that. The question is, and I'm going to throw this to you, Linda Kendi Bodden. What is your opinion on Amber's counsel rarely objecting during cross? Is it airtight questions from Vasquez or a lack of awareness on Heard's side? Linda, what do you say about that?
Interesting area because she has objected, and the problem is she objects the time that it looks like Amber Heard is in great trouble and needs to have a little bit of a respite. So she'll object and then ask for a sidebar, and something that's ridiculous, quite frankly, to ask for, as Jean pointed out. So she does object, but I also think the judges knows that these questions are very tight. Camille Vasquez has these questions extremely, extremely tight, and that really is something amazing to watch in that courtroom.
Yeah, and another thing too, she cuts her off. She says, requests to strike stuff from the record, Linda, because
Right.
It's like it's a yes or no question, and she tries to kind of expound upon it, which is not what you're supposed to do in court. All right, Marie Pereira, this one's coming to you, a criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor. Could they, the plaintiff's lawyers, Depp's lawyers, contact and retrieve records from her, Amber's medical spa, to show dates when she received cheek filler? And this apparently comes from someone on Facebook. We don't have an exact name.
They could have subpoenaed those records, but I would think that by now, if those records existed, the Depp team would have gotten their hands on those records already. But then again, the case is not over. I think we still have to wait. There's much more evidence to be produced, and we'll just have to wait and see. But anything could happen. Yes, sure.
All right. Let's go to our next question. And Jean, this one is for you from Michelow Jensen from Twitter. Michelow is asking, Camille Vasquez seems to use great tactics in cross-examining Amber Heard. Could you please explain some of the tactics that you have seen thus far?
Well, my buddy Linda Kenny Bodden hit the nail on the head. You have to be focused. You have to be clear. Your questions have to be short and to the point, and one new fact per question. And she is doing that. You shouldn't ask long questions. The other thing she's doing is, Camille Vasquez, is she's reining her in, and she's not crossing that line between being aggressive but obnoxious. She is being aggressive by telling her to answer the question, and she's doing a very good job. I'm a Monday morning quarterback. There were a couple things she did that I wouldn't have done, but that's me, okay? But she's doing an excellent job.
All right. Linda Kenny Bodden, now back to you. This is a first-time chatter from Twitch. First-time chat and viewer. Yes, welcome, Lisa C. Morgan. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, many of the photos Depp's team used show Heard at public events. The Met Gala, the Rickles thing, the Don Rickles tribute. I almost took my grandma to see Don Rickles at the Golden Nugget one time. That's an aside. But celebrities almost always have their makeup done by professionals for these events or fittings with designers. Wouldn't it be prudent for either side to call any of these designers or makeup artists to testify? Oh,
yes.
That's a great question, Linda.
That is a great question.
We've heard about the beauty routine.
Because you're absolutely right. Although Amber Heard seems to suggest that she does her own makeup and that she never goes out without putting a tinted moisturizer on. But you're absolutely right. Usually professional makeup artists are the ones who do that. Perhaps they couldn't get the names of the makeup artists who were doing that, given the fact the litigation started in 2019 by Depp. Maybe they couldn't find out who it was. But those photos are truly amazing, aren't they? Because their photo documentation very clearly that there were no bruises on Amber Heard at the time of those photos.
Yeah, they were interesting photos. And I just want to add on to that very briefly that we've heard testimony about Melanie Iglesias. During Isaac Baruch's testimony, he talked about Melanie Iglesias having come to the penthouse, and he witnessed her put makeup on both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard when they were going out to an event. So maybe we'll hear from Melanie Iglesias. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, we are taking your questions, as I mentioned. So submit them on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, and we'll try to get to them. Marie Pereira, this one's for you from Pranatek, I think, from Twitter. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Can Camille bring up the ex-wife abuse case just as she brought up Kate Moss? And that's talking about Amber Heard. She had this like domestic relationship, domestic partnership, wife thing. I don't know if they were legally married, but can she bring that up? That's what this question is really referring to. Or can she come testify since nor Elon or James did for her? So what do you think about that? Because did Amber Heard open the door with the Kate Moss comment, Marie? And will we see the ex, this Tasia Van Ree, the ex of Amber Heard, come in and testify?
I don't think that we're going to see that ex come and testify unless her testimony would be relevant to what's going on. I think we already discussed this, and I think they had an argument. There were no charges filed, and I don't think it would add or remove anything from their cases, respectively. I don't think they'll be calling those people.
Okay, very interesting. Quite possibly. So we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us here. YouTube people, stay with us. We have to take this break for the network. Keep those questions coming on our YouTube chat, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. You are watching For the Record live from the Fairfax County Courthouse on Law and Crime. Welcome back to For the Record here on Law and Crime. We are coming to you live from the Fairfax County Courthouse. We're on a lunch break in the trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. I'm Anjanette Levy here with Gene Rossi, former federal prosecutor and Virginia attorney. And we are taking your questions live on our YouTube channel. We're streaming right now, so submit those questions on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. We'll get to them. But first, we want to take a look at some of the testimony from earlier today. This is cross-examination of Amber Heard by Johnny Depp's attorney, Camille Vasquez. And remember, we heard that testimony about that knife. There was this knife that Amber Heard said she gave to Johnny Depp, and it was inscripted. There was an inscription on it that said, "Until death." And it was a turquoise handle. She said Johnny Depp was filming The Lone Ranger and he was going through a turquoise phase. So she gave him this knife. And so there were some questions about that this morning because she said she was fearful of him and was afraid of him, but she gave him the knife. So, and then the master deputy up there in the courtroom actually took the knife out of the sheath and walked up to the jury so they could view the knife. So let's look at a little bit of the cross and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Your relationship with Mr. Depp began in October of 2011, right?
That's correct.
And you previously testified multiple times under oath that the first year of your relationship with Mr. Depp was the best of times, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You testified that as far as you could tell, Mr. Depp was sober that first year.
That is correct. That's what I used to believe.
And that the first year was, quote, magic.
Yes, I always estimated it was about a year.
But now you've told this jury that Mr. Depp was being violent with you throughout 2012, haven't you, Ms. Heard?
No, he took a break in the middle of 2012 when he was sober.
You told them that he was hitting you in 2012, though. Is that right?
He was hitting me in 2012. He just took a break in the middle.
He was smashing things around you, right?
He did.
And you told them that Mr. Depp was in and out of sobriety in 2012.
That is correct.
You told this jury that, quote, in 2012, I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns. I was learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence, end quote. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing. Master Deputy Halusa, Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, may I please have you show the knife to Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's it.
That's the knife you gave to the man who was hitting you, right, Ms. Heard?
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him, that's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
This is the knife you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present in 2012, yes.
Okay, Gene Rossi, what do you think of what we just listened to about the knife?
Well, when I first heard this story, I thought the knife was given in 2015, 2016. That would be extremely bad for Ms. Heard. But here's where redirect is going to be crucial, unless they're asleep. On redirect, you have to bring out this knife was given in 2012, the beginning of the relationship. They're trying to, determine the boundaries of the relationship. And if it was during a period of his sobriety and she gives him a knife, then that would be an explanation that could be brought out on redirect. Is it going to neutralize everything about this incident? No. The thing that does hurt Amber Heard is they showed the knife to the jury, and visuals with the jury are like rocket fuel. So they have this vision of a knife. She gives it to this monster, and it's just inconsistent with her story. So I think it's a two-edged sword, pun intended.
All right. Linda Kenny-Bodden, I know you'll have something to say about that.
The only thing that was interesting to me, Gene Rossi, and I don't like to disagree with Polenta Gene Rossi, who's won all these trials that we know about, and we both teach at Harvard about the one factor question, is that she said this was after an incident of domestic violence. Now, even after one incident of domestic violence, why are you giving such a big knife to somebody? And then the inscription. to death or till death, which sounded like it was a threat from her as opposed to, something that she was scared of from him. And then she used that as a jumping point for the damage caused by, or the lack of damage caused by, Johnny Depp's rings. So I thought that was a very focused and interesting beginning and a segue into the lack of damages by the rings.
All right, Marie, real quickly, your thoughts.
I think it did a good job at showing that Amber Heard is disingenuous and her words are not in congruence with her actions. I'm afraid of him, but I'm giving him a big knife to have around the house. I care about him, but yet I'm taking sneaky, really humiliating pictures of him and sending them to my friends. How much do you care about someone if you're taking pictures like that and sending them to Rocky and who else, received those humiliating pictures? It just shows she's disingenuous and her words do not match her actions.
Okay, we're going to go to the questions now. We have lots of great questions that we're taking this hour. Mr. John Wick's dog has a $5 question. Can Amber Heard, face jail time for false allegations if found guilty for false testimony? We kind of touched on this earlier. Gene, what are your thoughts? You live here in Virginia.
Here's the thing. I'm very good friends with the lead prosecutor in Fairfax County. I doubt very seriously they would ever prosecute a perjury, especially if it's in a civil trial. We rarely did it when I was a federal prosecutor. So even if they rule for Johnny Depp and they basically conclude they don't believe Amber Heard, there's not going to be a perjury thing. Now, in terms of whether it could lead to other things, other lawsuits, maybe that could be the case.
All right. And Linda, I'm going to throw this question to you from My Wild Haber. Heard had a therapist, but her therapist never suggested a TRO, never told her to go to the doctor, ? Never suggested she leave and go to a shelter. So what are your thoughts on My Wild Haber's questions?
Well, it was interesting because it was touched upon, wasn't it, a little bit in court, that somebody had filed a complaint against the license of one of the medical providers, whether it was the nurse or one of the doctors, for not reporting as a mandatory reporter domestic violence. So that leaves the question as to whether or not they even believe that she was the victim of domestic violence or not. And the only mention we heard about it then was in the marital counseling, if you recall. And the marital counselor, yes, she asked whether or not, Amber Heard asked her whether she would have a leg up if she went and filed a TRO, whether she'd have a leg up at a divorce settlement. And that was the only thing we really heard.
Yeah, and you're right. It was Nurse Debbie Lloyd, Johnny Depp's nurse, that came out on cross. Vasquez asked her about, did you know Debbie Lloyd, somebody filed a complaint against her for not reporting domestic violence. So that came out today. All right, this next question is a $10 question from Papadut. What happens, Marie, if the judge rules that Amber committed, it's another perjury question. What are the consequences, if any, and how could that impact her defense case?
The consequences are unlikely because, like Jean said, it's not likely that a judge is going to prosecute or charges against her for perjury. That's not likely in this scenario.
Okay, and Jean, we have another question. This is from sbucks_n_foxen from YouTube. What is the logic behind Amber addressing the jury directly versus the lawyer? What does she hope to gain?
All right, let me tell you this right now, Amber Heard's team.
We just put this on.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
Hello.
That's mute now.
Oh, sorry, that's what I was supposed to do. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Because we can talk for a few minutes before it goes back on.
That's what I know. What is going on?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, who's there in the chat? Let yourself be known. We're back. We were just taking an intermission of some live stream cake. You're still going to hear it through your headphones.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hello. I can hear something.
In a minute, I'm going to need this in a minute.
Have our mega points.
Mega point. Could I have some space too? Go through the wall.
I'm at the wall.
Yeah, but go through it.
I don't know where the space is supposed to be. Yeah, so I should be back on in a minute or two. So.
Yeah, so we're just waiting.
Yeah, you can talk to us while you're waiting.
Yeah.
Peace out, bye, Tim. So how's everyone today? Let us know.
We have not slept today.
Oh yeah, so we haven't. LOL.
Yeah.
Got about 2 or 3 hours sleep and then that was it.
Yeah.
Up and streaming, I'm working.
Yeah, we were gonna just come back and watch this, but we said we'd stream it as well. We made it this far through the day, and might as well keep going.
That's true. We might as well. I don't see the problem with that. We're watching the case anyway, so
Yeah.
might as well watch it with everyone too.
We also want to get used to watching things on stream, so we're gonna do live reactions soon.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I know we know how to do live reactions. So
Oh, it does look rehearsed.
I think it looks rehearsed. I think she has like an idea in her head of how she's gonna answer each question, and then when the question's not exactly the way she thinks it's gonna be, she freaks out.
Yeah, or the amount of coughs, if they're loud or quiet, that all depends on it as well.
Yeah, the coughs are a little bit suspicious.
Yeah, because every time you hear a long question going on, you hear like these distinctive, like 3 different coughs.
Yeah, or if she's rambling on, it's like a quiet cough. It's like,
As in, keep going.
I don't know.
Are you coming back now, are you?
No.
Well, it's half now.
Yeah, it should be in a minute or two.
All right.
In Fairfax County Courthouse. So how was everyone today? Don't be afraid to talk in the chat.
Everyone's just hiding at the moment.
Where you all gone? Where'd you go?
I was coming back in 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah, perfect.
So in a minute, I'm gonna need a.
So just click one of the. Yeah. I actually never even told you how to do it today.
Nope.
So.
Hang on, hold on a bit.
Hello. I'm holding the microphone before we start again. We had some of our emergency cake. It was very tasty. 10 out of 10 on the cake scale.
10 out of 10 wood cake again.
Would absolutely cake. You can't really go wrong with chocolate cake though.
No. 100% no.
They're finishing up their waters and their teas before they come back on. So she can spout out a lot of things that don't make any sense.
What that's gonna be? So what way do you think this is gonna go? You still think?
I still think it's gonna be either she's gonna win it or it's gonna be a mistrial.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's gonna be a hung jury.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what is going on there with the way she keeps looking at that jury, but that's really making me suspicious.
That's like a psychological trick apparently. It's supposed to be like you're connecting more with the jury so they'll like believe you more or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I don't know. I don't really look into those type of tricks because why would you want to be doing that anymore?
Oh no, there was a lawyer on TikTok that's talking about certain things. People are asking him questions.
Oh.
And he's just kind of giving his opinion on it from cases that he's been doing before. So he's giving his lawyer opinion.
So he's giving the experienced opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough.
Absolute mad thing.
Yeah, so what? That's everyone. Well, not everyone. A good portion seems to be following that anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
But, you know, as we were saying, this is a good way for us to test out because we're going to start switching over to Twitch and stuff like that and try and do live reactions, obviously within reason.
Yeah, it can't be anything too wild.
Yeah.
But we can do live reactions on this as well.
Yep.
Depending on what the video is. Once there's no copyright or anything on it, we're good to go.
Yep.
Because if it's copyright on it, then we can't do it.
That'll be the next one. I think that's the next on the poll.
Yeah, and they're literally coming back. No contenders ready. No, do you know that?
No. Right, you hold on. Objection, hearsay.
Sleep here.
Well, that's what happens when you had like 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, objection, hearsay.
Objection, hearsay is correct.
Mega point. We need a mega point after sitting through that. Could only imagine what it's like in person for everyone.
Imagine actually sitting there in the audience. Would you call an audience?
We don't know. What's the story with that? Yeah, they'll just sit in on that, or they have to be selected as well.
No, you can sit in. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's public, you can just sit in.
So you can do that anywhere. You just walk into cases and sit in.
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Let us know in the comments. Or don't.
Of course.
Oh, no one's really kind of chatty. Well, I suppose everyone's listening to the case, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's kind of waiting.
Waiting and seeing what she's going to say next, because God knows what she's going to say next.
Oh, everyone's usually chatty, Joanna. I'll say everyone else went to get their lunch as well.
We should be back.
Just us now.
We should be... No, still not back. Oh, maybe it is back now.
Welcome back to For the Record here on the Law and Crime Trial Network. I'm Anjanette Levy, and we are coming to you live from the Fairfax County Courthouse in Virginia. And this is where the trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard is in a lunch break. Gene Rossi, a former federal prosecutor and Virginia lawyer, is here with me, and we are taking your questions. Linda Kenny Bodden is in New York, and Marie Pereira, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, is with us as well. So let's start out with some questions, guys. Gene, I'll throw this one to you. Okay. True Justice asks, this case is about the article only, the op-ed. Camille is no better than an ambulance-chasing lawyer. You cannot badger a witness and make snide comments trying to influence the jury. Case for a mistrial, is that valid?
No. if there was a mistrial every time an attorney was obnoxious, rude, or inconsiderate, then you'd have a lot of retrials in the United States of America. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10's the worst, 5's average, Miss Vasquez is probably a 4. And it doesn't bother me. It may bother some people, but this is what you do on cross. You have to control the witness. It's not for people who are weak and timid. And Miss Vasquez is doing the right thing by trying to rein in Amber Heard.
And this is really the nature of cross-examination, I want to add as well.
Yes.
This is how it works. This is how cross-examination, I mean, this isn't, you're not having tea.
Cross-examination is the greatest legal tool to get out the truth. It's a beautiful thing, but you can't cross that line into being obnoxious. And Camille Vasquez is far from crossing the line. She's doing a very good job.
Linda, your thoughts?
Say is that when she makes the comments, how convenient, which she's made a couple of times here, the attorney for Amber Heard then should be jumping up and saying, Your Honor, this is inappropriate. We'd ask it to stop. That's the only thing I think that is being allowed to happen, because I know if I try to make those comments in court, people be jumping up all over me and not letting me do it. You can't even say okay when an answer is given sometimes after, because you're either validating the witness or it's considering arguing with the witness.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay, so we're awaiting the court should be coming back from lunch here any second now, any minute. So we just want to let you know. So stay tuned for that. We have another question, Marie. I'm going to send this one to you.
Okay, she's going to send that, and then the stream just dropped. Okay.
And Lucas is asking, defamation lawsuits are especially hard to win. Is it too soon to calculate the odds for Johnny Depp? Marie, what do you think?
I think it's too soon to calculate the odds for Johnny Depp, because this testimony that is being elicited from Amber Heard is really, really showing that Amber is not the only one diminishing, omitting, and embellishing. They're both doing it. And I say this because there was an audio from 2016 where they were already divorced and they met somewhere to do some sort of damage control because things were going out of control. Now, in that audio, both of them put themselves in a situation where mutual abuse could be verified. Johnny says, I don't want this to go any further. She says, I know you don't, because they're making me out to look like a liar and I have all the evidence. And he's saying, you know what, it'll be bad for you too, because we both were guilty in a way. Now, you know what? It's not over until all the evidence is produced.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over, and we're still.
No, it's not
it
over
might
till
not
it's
seem
over.
like that long of the time until it's over, but it's still a while. Closing arguments are next Friday, May 27th, so we still got some time. And you know, the pendulum can swing back and forth in these things. There's an ebb and flow to it. Gene, I'm going to give you this question from Stephanie Gowdy. It's a $5 question on YouTube. Amber said she submitted everything to her lawyers. Can her team bring out new pictures that her team has not seen on redirect?
They could, but they have to make sure that they provided those photos to the other side. They can't blindside the other side. But they could on redirect try to bring in some photos, but if they weren't listed as exhibits, the judge may not let them in.
All right. And we want to let you know that the court, everybody's back in the courtroom except for the jury. There's a sidebar going on right now. So everybody is up at the bench, the attorneys and Judge Askarati. Let's go now, Gene. This is from C per $5 question on YouTube. Why can't we hear anything when lawyers ask to approach the judge? Is that stuff that stays off the record or?
Yeah, what is that,
The
Bill?
sidebars are where the rubber meets the road if you're an attorney. There's some things that happen in the sidebar that the public will not know, but it's pretty important. So those sidebars are sealed, if you will, from the jury. They may eventually become public after this trial's over, but that's where legal arguments are made, evidentiary arguments are made, and some very pointed arguments are made that attorneys don't usually make in front of a jury,
right?
But they do in sidebar.
It can be a little more coarse up there,
Yes.
I think. A little more like, we're at the, bar hanging out. I'm not a big fan of sidebars unless the judge puts it on the record later. But speaking of something I am a fan of regarding sidebars, the Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. You guys, we love putting this together for
Wow.
you.
Love that
We've been doing it
podcast,
for several weeks now,
That
and
was
it's
some
available
plug.
on Apple,
Nice
Google,
segue.
Spotify, and YouTube, wherever else you get your podcasts. It's a great listen. Jesse Weber and I work hard on this every day, and we try to bring you the very latest information. I put together something that I think is out right now. It just came out in the last hour or so on Amber Heard's direct from yesterday and then the beginning of the cross. So there's some goodies in there. You won't want to miss that. So check us out. Again, we are waiting for court to start over again. Oh my gosh, we have to start up again. This is from Twitch, Toto Rock, like Toto the band. I don't know. Hello, thank you for all the work you've done. I was wondering, what is the impact about Hollywood articles mentioning that Amber Heard became a figure of anti-domestic violence and link with current case? And this is from France. Toto Rock is from France. So thanks, Toto Rock. Gene, I guess I'll send that question to you.
Could you repeat that question?
Okay, yeah, sorry, I was a little all over the place. I was wondering, what is the impact of Hollywood articles mentioning that Amber Heard became a figure of anti-domestic violence and link with current case? So there's a language difference there. So
okay. Well, the articles, the Hollywood articles saying that she was an anti-domestic abuse champion going to be introduced at trial, maybe not, but she's already described that, and her op-ed basically speaks for itself that at some point in 2018, she wore a mantle of someone who was against domestic violence. So that's very important for the jury. It may come out in the next couple of days, the articles themselves, but maybe in closing referred to.
I think Camille Vasquez might have brought them up, like when we were kind of getting out here for lunch.
No.
I think maybe one of them came up, and it was stuff talking about Amber Heard, these articles, and about Johnny Depp being a victim of domestic violence. All right, Aaliyah Henderson Carter, Linda.
Oh. Hello. Oh, sorry.
Here we go. Let's go.
You're back from their sidebar.
That's for you.
I think we're ready. Yeah, sorry.
Hello. We're back too.
Welcome back.
Let's get ready and see what is going on this time.
Thanks for joining us.
From Luxembourg, we don't forget. I'm sorry. Waiting for the judge to come back in, I think.
Oh yeah, it's an all rise, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, thank you. You'll be seated. All right, your next question.
All right, here we go. It is like a movie, 100%.
Next question, starting straight.
And we're going straight in.
Strong.
Let's go, Camille. Let's hear it.
Tom, may I please have you put up Plaintiff's Exhibit 881A?
Go on, Tom.
Ms. Hurd, I'm going to ask you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 881A. This is one of the articles containing the counterclaim statements by Adam Waldman. Is that correct?
I haven't seen the article yet.
Okay. Why don't we go to page 8
around
of this article?
Time.
What was that?
God knows.
Adam Waldman, Depp's lawyer, said afterwards, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as a sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Is that one of the statements that you allege are defamatory? It's defamatory?
That's correct.
Okay. Can we please go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 881B? And if we could go to page 10 and 11.
What's on page 10 and 11?
Yeah.
In Plaintiff's Exhibit 881B, Depp's lawyer Adam Waldman said the various discrepancies prove that nothing Heard and her friends said about the events of May 21, 2016 could be considered credible. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops. The first attempt didn't do the trick, he told thedailymail.com.
The Daily Mail.
The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911.
Wow.
But even this didn't have, oh, apologize. You're fine.
Okay.
What just happened there?
I think they're on a sidebar again, are they?
Well, the legal team just intervened there?
Yeah, I think so. You can't really. It just kind of. The audio just cut off, though.
Yeah, they kind of just jumped there, whatever happened.
Well, she's not answering questions anymore either, so she's just weirdly staring at everyone again.
Yeah, she keeps like jumping over and like swinging the neck around to the jury. Like, what was that?
There's pausing. Yeah, they're going back to talk. Having the old chats with the judge.
Do you mean to reply to that?
Oh no, I was replying to Mr. Fan.
Oh, really?
Because I asked a question and he answered it, so.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Well, I'm having that little chat.
Oh, I'm back up at the sidebar again.
Yeah. What are they saying?
I don't know, I wish we could hear that. Or just so knows, you want to hear it all?
I know. She's still typing it though, wasn't she? The stenographer, is that what they're called?
Typographer, is it?
Yeah.
I think you were right. I think I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. I forget the name of it. But I'd say stenographer, what you said is right. Might as well Google it when they're all like having a chin wag there.
Having a chin wag.
I nearly knocked the whole light stand down there. LOL. Is Johnny drawn again? Like, what's...
I have no idea. It's kind of gone now again, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that was... Stenographer is absolutely not what I thought.
Yeah, we're just waiting for them to come back there. They're up at the sidebar and they're having an old chin wag. over what basically the article said, and I think Camille was about to go in there, so they had to run up quick and stop her.
Oh, stenographer it is.
Is it?
Yeah. So I was close. We were both close. We both almost had it.
Weren't too much off.
We are learning. It's back there.
Super Nintendo Charmers. Let's see.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We might not make this whole trial. What about you?
Probably no. I'd say we'll
What?
say we give it another half an hour.
Yeah, we'll give it another half an hour and see if we're
We can survive it.
Yeah, because we are running on fumes. I might just type here.
Yeah.
I hope I spelled that right. Cause yeah, see, I don't know how much longer it's gonna be and stuff. Because yeah, oh sorry.
There you go.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah, we're back.
Back into business.
Okay, and if we can please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 881C.
Sorry. 881C. What's this?
And go to page 11. This is another article, Ms. Hurd, where you argue that Mr. Waldman's statements are defamatory, correct?
I don't know if this is taken from that article because I can't see the article in full.
It's page 11 of the article.
But you can't see it in
And
full.
the statement reads,
And the statement reads.
What's going on here?
Having the chance.
This is what I'm going to start doing now, is it? That's where they keep stopping each other, is it?
No, it's just it's his way you can see him. Can't run smoothly all the time. Oh,
we have reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Hurd's abuse host against Mr. Depp. Is that correct? Is that one of the what you claim is one of the defamatory statements sent by Mr. Waldman?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you.
I believe so. You're the one that said it.
Yeah, but she believes so.
Ms. Hurd, you're not aware of any career opportunities that you lost as a result of Mr. Waldman's statements, are you?
Well, it's kind of hard to point to the jobs you're not offered, to the gigs you don't get.
You were not replaced in Aquaman 2, were you?
They released me from my contract, and I fought to stay in it, and they kept me in it. I just don't know how much I'm in, actually, of the final cut.
And you
10
testified yesterday that L'Oreal actually extended your contract in April of 2020. Is that correct?
In part, they extended it and held me.
So
And you testified yesterday that L'Oreal extended your contract again in November of 2021, correct?
Not exactly. They extended it because it couldn't use me or any of the materials for me.
So
And that extension was for 20 months, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, you testified yesterday how Mr. Waldman's statements, quote, torture you every day. Do you recall that testimony?
I do.
And then, and that you look at them every day.
I look at the online attacks, the media. You can't avoid it, to be honest, that those statements are often attached to.
No, this is
I don't look at his statements every day.
And you testified that you just want to move on with your life, right?
I do very much want to move on with my life.
But you've gone out of your way to engage with Mr. Waldman on social media, haven't you?
I have made a comment, I believe, once. I would not characterize that as engaging with him.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit
I just tweeted his
1266.
exact account, but I didn't engage him.
No, that's different.
It's right there. Your microphone. Yeah. Your microphone.
I don't have this yet, so I'm asking for it to
right
be
there.
given to me
Okay.
before.
It's a photograph.
I think it's just a.
This is your tweet, right, Ms. Hurd?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish this tweet.
I don't check the relevance.
The objection, I'm sorry, what was the objection?
I'm sorry, relevance?
All right, I'll overrule the objection. 881C in evidence.
How is it not relevant? Like, where's she going to?
Yeah, like, what's going on here?
Can we please have it published to the jury?
Oh.
I'm sorry, 1266. I apologize.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You will still be
This is
short,
from
huh?
March 26, 2021, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And this is after he made the statements you claim are defamatory, right, Ms. Heard?
Wow.
21, yes.
Ms. Heard, you tweeted at Adam Waldman, quote, "Yes, Mr. Waldman, I may be wearing makeup on this occasion, but on every occasion you will still be short." Did I read that right?
Yes.
You can't say somebody's attacking you and then you attack them at the same time.
What you mean?
Thank
It
you.
doesn't really work that way, does it?
Ms. Heard, since your relationship with Mr. Depp ended, you have completed your level 3 sommelier training, haven't you?
I haven't completed it yet.
You're
I just
on level
stopped.
2?
No, I'm on level 3.
You also have had a baby, right?
I have.
And you enjoy being a mother?
More than anything.
Still love to cook?
I do.
And you love to hike?
I've taken a break on hiking for a minute.
You have friends, right?
I do have friends.
And you spend time with those friends?
Occasionally, when I can.
Why should you keep
And you
looking at
exercise
Joe?
regularly?
Every day.
You just filmed a movie in March of 2022, isn't that right?
Yes, the one I just shot in Guatemala that I spoke of earlier.
And you have you had a major role in a major film that's scheduled to be released soon. Is that correct? Aquaman 2?
As I said, I don't know if I will even be in the final cut or how much I will be. It was difficult to stay in the movie.
Yeah, because no one wanted you then.
Yeah.
You struck Mr. Depp multiple times during your relationship, didn't you, Ms. Heard?
There were many times I had to use my body to defend myself, and that included swinging wherever I could. If it meant I could get away, absolutely. If it meant a difference between a sore face and a broken nose, you bet I would. You
That's
bet.
your testimony under oath that you never struck Mr. Depp as the initial aggressor?
Well, he was holding me against the wall by my neck. You know, I might be the first person to have been the first one to slap, which happened in Australia, you know, and he was choking me. But I wouldn't say I was the initial aggressor in that situation.
You got physical with Mr. Depp often during your relationship, didn't you?
I had to defend myself as best I could. Didn't seem to make much of a difference.
You just couldn't control yourself, could you, Ms. Heard?
I tried to defend myself when I could, but it was after years of not defending myself.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 356? And Your Honor, portions of this exhibit were entered into evidence yesterday, but we moved to admit the entire recording.
Still not acceptable.
And I can confirm that there's no other voices besides Ms. Heard's and Mr. Depp's. And I intend to play from 129:27 to 130:07.
So I have 356A in evidence. Is any objection to the entire 356 coming into evidence?
If I may.
Okay,
Hold on just for a
sure.
moment, Your Honor. I have to check on something.
Delaying the case, isn't it? It's 14 not got anything ready.
They barely have anything. She said it herself yesterday. Oh yeah, the evidence is there, but it's not been shown. Why hasn't it been shown?
Should it have not been shown already?
Excerpt for now, and we'll double check our notes on that, because there was one that had something in that we couldn't go, and I just can't find my notes on that
We'll just call it 356B for now.
That's fine.
and
Thank you,
then-
Your Honor.
Could you just give me the times again?
Yes, of course. 129:27 to 130:07.
All right, and I'm just told that we already have a B, so you have to do 356C.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. I can fucking promise you I'm gonna do everything to change. Promise you. I'm not gonna throw around divorce. I will not say divorce unless I leave. Unless it's it. And then I hope you leave me. I'm not going to, and me too. I will leave you. It's fair. I can't do it, you know? And I think honestly, if we hold each other accountable to that, it's fair.
Ms. Hurd, that's you and Mr. Depp on that recording, correct?
That's correct.
And you told Mr. Depp, quote, "I can't promise you that I won't get physical," end quote. Correct?
That's correct. He was accusing me of instigating something in the
Well.
situation I explained yesterday.
But you said
And you also
can't
told Mr.
promise
Depp
you
that
won't.
sometimes you get
That
so
means you
mad
were.
you lose it,
Yeah.
correct?
That's correct. I also explained the context of that fight yesterday.
Isn't that exactly what you told Ben King on your way back from Australia? That you get so mad you lose it?
Absolutely not. I know that that's what Ben King testified to, but I never had that conversation with Ben King.
She missed.
If we could please
In the
play.
meantime, I'm sorry, I checked and I have no objection to the entirety of 356 coming
So
in.
356 in its entirety will be in
Did you
evidence.
just travel under
All right,
the
thank you.
bus there?
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. If we could
It's probably
please
not
play from
Oh,
what's
you
now
can
been
start off with
admitted,
this.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 356 in its entirety from 705 to 743.
I'm not gonna be in a physical fucking altercation
Don't.
with you.
Then don't.
You fucking hit me last night. You fucking.
What about all the other times you split? Come on, you cannot act like that's about that. It's
Well,
not.
well, on a plane, I can't split.
No, and you hit back. So don't act like you don't fucking
I
participate.
pushed you.
I'm not going to get into the details of that fight. You and I both know that you split when there is no physical violence involved. And that you do it like at the very beginning of fights these days. And if you split and you go into a different room and you don't actually leave that house, it does nothing but perpetuate the fight. And you don't actually do it respectfully. You don't.
Ms. Hurd, is that you and Mr. Depp on this recording?
Yes, it is.
Which
Can we
film?
please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343? And I believe that one's been admitted already into evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And just for the record, we're playing from 24601 to 24720.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Oh, you told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just
And
happened.
I lied.
And that you punched me in the
You're right.
fucking thing. And
You figured
in
it
the
out.
face. And you said, no, fucking, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie. And then
I didn't punch you,
and
by
then
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close
You
face.
didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Are you?
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
You started
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did. So I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
Is she
That's
messing?
you and Mr. Depp on that recording, right, Ms. Hurd?
That's correct.
And you said you hit Mr. Depp, right?
Yeah, I had to hit his body to get
Ms.
him out
Hurd,
of the door.
my question was, you said on that recording that you hit Mr. Depp, right?
Yes, I did.
And you accused him of being a baby for not wanting to be in a physical fight with you, right?
Incorrect. I accused him of being a baby for complaining about me hitting him when he was trying to get through the door. I was trying to barricade.
Is she messing?
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 368? And again, Your Honor, this is a recording of just Mr. Depp and Ms. Hurd. I'm going to move for the entire
Please don't
exhibit to be
move.
moved into evidence.
She's like, how dare you
Any
use the
objection to
evidence against me?
368? I don't think so, no, Your Honor.
All right, no objection. 368 in evidence in its
Thank you.
entirety.
Like, my time she has to get cut out there.
It's a shitty lock. Anyway, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. After a few times I opened. And, you know, you just kept going. You just kept going. I tried to close the door 3 times. You know, please, just don't, you know, and then wait. And then I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scraped your toes. I didn't mean to do that. And I bent down, and you either pushed or you kicked. I think you kicked the door open. I mean, the door, more open, so that it would hit me. And it hit me.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know
It
that.
hit me in the fucking head.
But I did not mean to do that. I don't know what.
I was bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to. I did not
Christ.
kick a door or push a door so that it would hit you. I did not. I swear that I don't even. That did not. It was not my intention. I think I remember when the door scraped my toes. I reacted, but this whole the door thing. I remember. I never did that. That wasn't on purpose. I might have done it on accident.
Okay.
Oh, an accident.
But
So let's say that was an accident. I then stood up.
How about that?
I don't even know if I said. I mean, I might have said like, "What the fuck," whatever, because I just been hit in the head with the fucking corner of a door.
I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up, and then you fucking clocked me.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing.
So she hit him because of the door? What?
And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor.
You didn't mean to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to
I did
punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember. I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean.
The door? No, God, no, I didn't.
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I hit you. I did mean to hit you, but it was in response. I just reacted in response to my foot. I just reacted, and I'm sorry. It's below me.
Your foot? That was why you punched me.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I.
Again, that's you and Mr. Depp on that recording, right?
That's correct.
And Mr. Depp was hiding from you in the bathroom. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
Incorrect.
Well, Mr. Depp said on that recording, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. Doesn't he?
I don't know if he said that, and I didn't hear that.
And
one
Mr.
as
Depp
well.
said, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scraped your toes. He says that, doesn't he?
Correct.
And then you kicked the bathroom door into his head, didn't you?
No, I didn't. And I
then you punched him in the
defended
jaw.
myself in that audio. You can hear it for yourself.
Right. And then you punched him in the jaw.
I also did not do that. I tried to make that clear on the audio tape too,
So-
in futility.
She
So
just said
Mr.
she
Depp
did.
said,
She said it
you
on the
meant to
audio
punch
tape.
me
She
in the
punched
jaw,
him.
right?
What?
Are you asking me what he said on the
Yeah.
on the recording? Yes, he said that.
And then you respond, I meant to hit you, didn't you?
As I explained yesterday, I was trying to get him off the door,
And you said, I remember, I did mean to hit you.
meaning the door. The door was on my feet.
Jeez, that's some.
I reacted
this-
instinctively to that.
Yeah, you've heard this audio before, haven't you, Miss Heard?
Yeah, we've already had this trial before.
Yeah, it was played for you when you were deposed in 2016 in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
That's one of the times I've heard it, yes.
So you've had plenty of time to think about how to respond to this recording, haven't you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, let's take a look at how you responded to it the first time. Can we please pull up what will be marked Plaintiff's Exhibit 1261?
The next thing that I'm going to play
Your Honor?
to you
Okay.
as cue.
Oh, you want to come?
Hang on,
No.
hang on up to the bar again.
Yeah. Fuck Caroline.
Yeah.
She's something else. Like, yeah, I said that on the recording, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, like 1 minute she's admitting to it and then she's double back and then like that's what I'm taking away from it. I could be hearing it wrong. Again, we're not like legal professionals, so we're only having our opinion, but
Yeah, we're not legal professionals, but at the same time, we have ears.
yes, exactly. But oh my god, like every time Johnny Depp's lawyers come on here with the like 1 minute it's like, yeah, and then it's no, then it's yeah, then it's no, and then it's like just one big roundabout roller coaster.
Like she literally said to her, "You said this on the recording, didn't you?" No. You did. Here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hear the noise in my ear, so I assume the microphones were back on.
So.
Oh yeah, no, it is. There she's back at the bench.
Yep. Objection hearsay.
I just stepped on B. That's what she's like. She's like this. Yeah. Does anybody else notice that she doesn't slouch or move at all when she's sitting there? She's just up straight all the time.
What's wrong?
I think that's a bit odd. It's not very, I don't know.
I'm going to read it into the record and I'll hand this to you. So, I will. So, Your Honor, for reference, and I will provide a copy of the deposition, Ms. Heard's deposition in the divorce. It's page 372, lines starting at line 5 through 377, line 12.
All right, I think.
Okay.
How does her solicitor not have
Yes.
the deposition?
Wait, whole legal team doesn't have the deposition?
From the UK case.
How have they got known the evidence?
Your Honor, with permission, may we please play?
If we just get to that page, make sure everybody's at the. Oh, could you say the page number again?
Yes,
please?
absolutely.
Page 372, lines 5 to 377, line 1 is what I have.
12, line 12.
All right, 372.
If we could have a moment, Your Honor, to read it before it's played.
Yeah, they need to figure out where I'm going to cough. If we could just have a moment of... and then...
I didn't think they were allowed in the courtroom with a cough considering COVID, so I think.
Not in celebrity cases. Celebrities are usually immune to it. Yeah, once your jet can take down the stairs and stuff, there you go. It's buffering now for saying that.
That's because you said that.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
It's not buffering anywhere else, just on our screen.
Yeah. Alright, I'm not making any jokes though.
Is it fully gone or is it just on ours? That's us. Oh, it's fully gone, yeah.
Yeah, the man was down in the buffers. Go down there. Well.
$100.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think that chat. Can anyone see that chat? Wee. Well, there's nearly 1 million people watching this.
Wow.
We are one of them.
Can you see the chat when you scroll down?
On our screen? Yeah, look.
Oh, that's cool.
Manscaped. What ad is that? Free shipping. It's still... Can anyone let us know if you can still see the case? Because it's completely gone here for us.
Yeah, it's buffering for us.
It was getting juicy as well.
It's getting extra sweaty.
Oh.
Here we go.
I wish we missed it.
They're still reading.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. If we can please have it published to the jury in the gallery.
They're trying to place where to best put the cuffs in.
The next thing that I'm going to play to you as Hugh. Would you listen to this, please?
Pretty skinny there, isn't she?
Your Honor, maybe stop it.
She didn't get the Aquaman money yet.
Aquaman.
Or was this Joan Aquaman?
No, it was only 2016.
Already. So she was still basically a zombie in Zombieland?
No, she isn't Justice League.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what she said. That's where whatever a character is in it started. Little Mermaid or something.
Yeah, I only found out the other day that she was actually one of the fourth zombie in Zombieland. Or Jack is coming out there. Here we go. Objection hearsay.
And they can do they can do it through reading the deposition, Your Honor. They don't need to do that.
I think they're lying on purpose, or they just genuinely don't
Ask
tell
them
her.
to take it off the screen.
I think, yeah, she doesn't want them to see because her reactions are like this. When she's talking about it, she's giving it over.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've seen that a few clips video now. Everyone's saying it though, it's been public for a while.
Yeah. What's going on in this monitor? So Johnny Depp can see that as well in his monitor, can he?
Okay.
They're all getting it taken off. It's
That's
not-
fine.
Thank
The
you.
vocals are being played.
Can we please start it over?
Oh. Hello?
Why are you taking the picture off?
I don't know.
Because it's going to help out what she's building to report on.
I don't know.
You know everything.
The next thing that I'm going to play to you as Hugh.
it's back.
Would you listen to this, please?
Punching.
Right.
Anyway, the bathroom door knocked on it. I think we just got over. Yeah. You just kept going. Tried to close the door 3 times. You know, please, just don't let me know. And then wait, and then I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I just stretched your toes. I didn't really do that. I like that down. You like to push me, you take the door. I mean, you said put the door, get more over. So,
I did not do that. But I did not need to do that.
I was bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to her. I did not kick at the door or push the door so that it would hit you. I did not. I swear. I mean, that was not my intention. I think I remember when the door scraped my toes.
Okay. So you told him in that excerpt that you hit him with the door but did not intend to hit him, correct? Did you say that?
I said whatever I said in that recording. I
Okay.
don't, when you play it for me, it's hard for me to remember every single.
And that's a recording marked as exhibit the punching.
Q. What we
Q.
just played.
Q. Would you continue to listen to exhibit Q?
Are these from the same day?
I reacted that this whole the door thing. I never did that. That was on purpose. I was on an accident.
Okay. Let's say that was an accident. I then stood up. I don't even know if I said, I might have said, like, what the fuck? You know, whatever. I just got hit in the head with the fucking wall of the door.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks, Michelle.
And then I stood up. And then you got the fuck.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing.
Exactly. I just told her.
And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to ignore.
You didn't need to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember I did mean to hit you.
For that, you didn't mean
The door? No, God, no. I
to punch you in the jaw.
okay, I'm sorry.
So on the tape, you tell Johnny Depp that you did mean to hit him.
And it also misrepresents that. What
Oh, we have to. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Ah, where did we go?
Hello.
I was still here.
Right, so we're just gonna wrap it up there. We've streamed for 3.5 hours.
literally only on like 3.5 hours sleep as well, so unfortunately we can't do the whole day.
Yeah. So we'll see. The rest of the week could pop up another surprise live stream of this. We'll watch it with you guys again. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate that.
Thanks, guys. And yeah, let us know what you think of the trial too, and let us know what you think. I said that twice. Yeah, let us know what you think.
Yeah. Comment on the community post or comment here and we'll have a chat back with you.
Absolutely. And like James said, we might be popping up for another one because it's going on for it's another week, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, whenever the jury decide who's innocent and guilty.
Yep. So we'll end it there. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.